All right, to the close. It's 2 o'clock. That means there's 2 hours left in the trading day. It has been quite the positive one to kick off the final week of trading here in 2021. Here we go. Yeah, there's a look at how things stand at this point. 1.2% for the S&P as we head into, as I said, the final 2 hours of the day. 0.7 for the Dow, 1.5 for the NASDAQ there. TSX closed not only today, but tomorrow as well. 1% for Brazil. Crude oil having quite the day. I want to show you energy stocks. We mentioned these briefly in the pre-market this morning. If you joined us at 8:30, quite the moves for some of the energy group today, both Bitcoin and Ethereum back to the upside. Once again, here we go. Top right corner. This is all the energy sector. Apache leading the way. Almost 6% on the day for Apache. Devon's here, 5.25%. Fang up on the day. MRO, PXD, Hess, to name a few, having quite the day. The overall market, very, very positive to kick off the week, as we said. Just the cruise lines down here, some of the casinos as well in negative territory. LVS, Wynn, MGM, to name a few. Caesars here as well, 1.4% to the downside. NCLH there, 3% negative territory. The entire tech group almost in positive territory. Hardware equipment makers and semiconductors all nicely higher on the day. AMD, wow, 6% for AMD, NVIDIA 4%. Wanted to mention AMAT there. I was just having a look at AMAT, another rocket ship so far today. Some positive comments coming from IBD today on AMAT. We'll have a look at that chart here in a second. Ralph Lauren down here in the consumer durables, some of the apparel makers having a nice positive showing. Tesla as well, leading the automakers. I'll quickly flip over here and show you the NASDAQ. Yeah, I saw this morning going into the day today, Peloton was down 74% on the year. You can chalk on another 4.8% on that. Peloton not having a good day. There's Tesla, there's Facebook, all the usual suspects. It's all about the chip makers, though, all leading the way. Yeah, 1.2, 1.5 now for the NASDAQ. Here it is. AMAT, 4%, just made day highs, coming up to 162. Multi-week highs, in fact. I was just watching this level up here. 162 on the nose, trying to get broken right now for AMAT. So chip makers have been very strong. Tech stocks in general, very strong to kick off the new week. It was all about Omicron when we sat down this morning and how it was affecting not only the airlines, some of the cruise lines in negative territory. Those did end up giving you some trades this morning. If you kept your eye on some of the airlines, they did try and make a move back in the right direction. We'll talk about those coming up, but as we do, to kick things off in the afternoon, going to be an interesting afternoon as we head into the rest of the day here. 2 hours to go. We're going to talk a little bit about more of some of those opportunities we mentioned if you joined us at 8:30. Sean's going to kick things off for us right now and talk about one of his trades.
Hey traders, yeah, today's trade of the day, pretty simple for me. It's going to be AMC. It's my #1 stock, and as you can see, we have a bunch of fills right now, and we're actually short into this move down. So we'll explain that, why we got ourselves into that, and how exactly we traded AMC. We start the day putting it on our sticky note, and what we were trying to really do was defend this 28 area. 28 goes all the way back here to mid-December, where we did have a 28 top before we started to fall back down. So that's 28, and that's kind of what we started to do right here, actually, believe it or not. We started to buy in front of, maybe I'll sit on this side, we started to buy in front of 28. You can see 28, 25, 28 even, things like that. As soon as it breaks down below 28, though, we get out. We're able to actually, take some of the profit here as we get out of, I believe that was 20% on the first break, but then we're like, you know what? We can't scalp out. We got to try to hold some of this. We got to try to hold. So that's what we do. It comes right back up, and then we just start getting out, like 28.50, almost near 29, some of these pre-market levels. Okay, that's all great. And then AMC makes an, so again, in on the long, not a problem. Then it just starts to collapse. And this is where we're like, okay, let's start to get a little bit interesting here and do some back testing, right? And all we really did was look back because we were in this trade on Thursday, I believe it was, when we dipped below that 28, and then right there, we stopped at 27. The actual bottom's like 26.80 or something like that. And we're like, you know what? We're actually going to level up a little bit and try to be smarter about this and not average in all the way down. So we take our first little bit right in this level here, 27.70, was it 27? Yeah, 27.75. We go long. And then we're like, you know what? forget about this. I'm not going to defend the 50. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to go back, trust my read from before, and then look what happens. It absolutely pukes all the way to the downside. And there we are. It's about a 27.10 or so, 27.08. I'm not sure the exact fill, but we're sitting there and we get it on big back-to-back red candles, forcing AMC through this level and kind of shaking out some of those weak hands, which was me before. But this time, no. We actually wait for that very bottom, pick it up, and then it's like explosions to the upside. We actually did really good here because I switched again. We went to hold a little bit longer. We've seen AMC make these runs, so let's hold on to some and see if we can explode to the upside a little bit. So here it goes. Boom, out a little bit in front of view up. These are all like 50 cents. This is 27.50. Then it starts to blow up here, 28-ish range, right? Out into all this. Then, boom, takes off, absorbs this VWAP punch down the downside, then just absolutely takes off, where at this level down here, up here, is where we start to short. AMC up today. Look, it went red to green, obviously. Then we started to see some levels. We actually just saw it kind of go, it's not parabolic, but it's enough for me, go all the way to the upside here and kind of bounce around the top, which gives me two shorts in there, out, right? So these shorts is 29.25, out, around 29 even. We don't want to hold the short too long because we've seen this move before. So we don't want to get like reloaded and then boom, up to the upside. Then we get it out again on a 29 break, out again. Then it gives us that same opportunity one more time. We get 29.20s, then boom to the downside, boom. Gets them out 29, gets them out 28.90. Now we still hold right here for a 50 or 60 cent winner. AMC's my #1 stock. But look, apes, don't worry. I think AMC is going back up to the upside. We've been holding some of these levels pretty good. But look, as a day trader, this is the key thing. We always get told, why don't you hold? We have to be flat at the end of every day. You can change your mind. Like we went long, right? Monster move up. Then all of a sudden we notice that some of the buying and some of the volume has died down. We've seen it before, so then we switch our game over to a short. Look, this is what this is. It's day trading, it's AMC, and it's your trade of the day.
Indeed, lots of opportunities in AMC today. That is Danielle Shea. She's coming up in just under an hour. We're going to talk to Danielle about some options. Yeah, options. We're going to discuss how her year has been, some highlights from her year, and maybe what she's looking forward to going to 2022. So Danielle Shea coming up about 2:50 or so. We'll talk to her. If you're looking for an absolutely free watch list, there you go, guys. That's the free watch list we send out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. You can use that link. Miss V will help you out in the chat as well with that. So we're going to go back over a few things that we discussed in the pre-market this morning. It was all about, as I said, the new variant and how bad it was for travel. Airlines were down after a whole bunch of cancellations over the holidays. 2,000, as many as 2,000 flights canceled or delayed. That's just the U.S. only because of staffing shortages for the airlines. But I mean, a lot of them end up being decent moves so far on the day, but the only group, guys, that remains in negative territory here as we head towards the close.
I missed most of that, other than that I was traveling. I just sat back down there. You had Boeing earlier, didn't you, or was that a trade that?
No, I never got. Ended up getting into Boeing, but I was looking at Boeing as a potential trade in the airline space, but never really caught any moves. But I do have 5 trades, as you can see from my position board, 5 longs. All of them doing quite well, except for the Hut long, which is down 20 cents. But everything else running well. You can see the market's absolutely gone nuts to the upside, right? We started at 9:30, we were at 47.30, and then it was 10 points within the first 5 minutes, and then we never really stopped. We went up to 47.50. That was the first checkpoint, and then once we crossed that, here we are, another 22 points from that level. Now we're at 47.72, still going strong. What goes with it? All the big good next name. You're seeing Apple go, you're seeing Microsoft go, you're seeing Facebook go. I've got Facebook. I've one of those 3 big names. And then you see the other positions I've got. MasterCard long. We talked about these ones. Anyone who's following from the morning, I talked about these ones. The MasterCard long, the Home Depot long, and the Qualcomm long. All of these we talked about and how to position up and waiting for the right times and whatnot. So here we are just kind of waiting for all these to kind of keep going. Essentially just keep going. I've already cashed out some. I've cashed out some HD. We'll get more into it as we have more time, but we've cashed out some of HD, cashed out some of Facebook, Qualcomm. We're still waiting for MasterCard to really accelerate to the upside, and then I guess Hut really doesn't want to cooperate with the rest of the market. So we are waiting for Hut to turn around, but the market is going strong, up 1.5 on the NASDAQ, 1.2 on the S&P 500 as we kind of close out the year, right? This is fifth last trading day of the year on Monday as we close up. Friday will be the last. I think it's been a while since a Friday the last trading day has been a Friday. It's been a while since I've had that experience, so that should be exciting, especially going into the end of the year.
Yeah, well, that's why we were sort of complaining about not having any holidays this year. So, but we'll complain when the market gets slow. We've been able to make some, well, it's slow right now, but we've been able to make some good trades here. We talked about travel there, Brendan, as you started the show off. CCL, it's the #1 name on my list today. Mass cancellations all weekend. Look to short CCL around that 2040 break. And honestly, that's exactly, we just put that into the chat as well. You guys can check that out. And honestly, that's exactly what we did here on CCL. The trade was a good time, but not a long time. There's the 2040 break. It happens in the pre-market, so it goes down. We take out at 25 there, so that's only 15 cents. And then as it dips down, we saw it bounce one time off 2010, right? And then it ripped all the way back basically to where we were in at 2035. And then as it came all the way back down, we filled out again at 2010 for 30 cents. So we've only made one trade on CCL, and that was that. Then it was just way too strong. So I was not going to sit in front of this train selling this all the way to the upside. Then as we zoom back out, as we zoom back out a little bit here, you can see this is a 1 minute chart. CCL just made some nice moves up to 21.10 or so, and now it's starting to fade back in. So I was really surprised that CCL was sort of able to hold a bid today, only being down that 1.64%. We sort of thought here, I mean, this is the daily. It's been up and down, and it just kind of goes with the ebbs and flow of the news out about the variants and about, you know, any sort of docking restrictions or whatnot. But as you guys can see here, I mean, it's just almost not doing anything today. So CCL, a nice move up the last couple days, 17.50 all the way to 21, which is where I thought on bad news, maybe we could fade out a little bit here, but CCL remaining pretty high. This is probably a name that, you know, a lot of us are going to have to, and we don't have to do anything, but you might want to add this name, you know, to some of your buy lists here, because if it's not going to go down that late, I'm pretty positive about the variant and where we're going from here. It seems like it's, and again, knock on wood, like, you know, I'm going to say this and then there's going to be another variant outbreak, but as long as we can sort of stay calm here, and like I said on the morning show, you know, healthy body syndrome, you know, get yourself right, immune deficiencies, plus, you know, there are the vaccines available, and I just feel like we're almost through all of this, and let's just keep our fingers crossed that that is the case. We've had to miss some. I mean, we have restrictions here, 10 people indoors. If you have like a party or anything here in Ontario, it's pretty crazy, but hopefully we can get done these restrictions and move on to a normal life. And in that situation, I think a lot of people, and we talked about this with Disney, right? I think a lot of people are ready to travel. So if you're ready to travel, CCL, good value down at these levels. You know, there should be having enough cash on the books, obviously, to withstand 2 years of this. So let's see where we go now with CCL. But that's my play on a rebound there, Brenda, or LUV maybe on some domestic flights.
Yeah, no doubt. I think a lot of people are traveling, regardless of this craziness that we find ourselves in still. Future FinTech, wanted to mention, just popping back up here again. Just checked. I mean, Bitcoin is higher on the day, obviously, having a nice day, in fact. But some of the crypto-related stocks, including FTFT, what a move this thing's had today. Just took out the high there on a nice volume spike, so up nearly 50%. But I mean, crypto stocks across the board, as you said, you guys mentioned HUT there, the only one that it seems kind of lagging the rest of these.
Of course, right? So this morning I tried to get my hands on coin, missed the entry, and then here goes a HUT. So I finally catch the entry and HUT doesn't want to cooperate, but Coinbase, absolutely nuts. I was trying to get some longs here around 270 and change. I think I missed it by like 10 cents. That's assuming, I don't even know what happened at this price point, but that's assuming there was enough volume to get me filled. But I was sitting right here and right off the open, then boom, up it goes, $5 right off the top, all the way to 278, comes all the way back down to 273, and then climbs for the rest of the day. So that trade would have been a great little entry, but no, I'm stuck in HUT. The one that doesn't want to cooperate. Why? I don't know. It's done 6.6 million shares. I was 16 cents after going long just north of 9. I guess the mistake could have been made that there was some resistance up here. I mean, I kind of discounted that, but I guess now I have to respect it given how much, how many times we've rejected this 905 area. So as we come back into HUT, I think I got to be smarter about how to play this 9 even level, because it's no longer just the 9 even level. I thought I had enough after this little dip to go for the long, but it seems like it wants to come back. So, hey, missed coin, grabbed some HUT. And for anyone who saw, yes, that was a llama on my cup. We were running out of some cups, some
We have a
coffee
lot of
cups and
cups,
some
man.
teacups.
Thank you,
so
Ms. V.
I decided to go for the no problema cup. I don't know if you guys can see it. Actually, look, Rob, can you top mic? There you go. You guys see that there? It says no problema. That's the cup I'm drinking my mint tea out of today. And as I drink my tea, Sean's got his Bieber balls.
Yeah,
there.
no, I was going to say Beaver balls. Yeah. Tim Beebs there, Arun. Yeah, so these Tim Beebs. So Justin went, I don't know if you guys can see these, but basically they're just Timbits, which are donut holes for a lot of you out there south of the border if you don't have Tim Hortons there. These are what the Tim Beebs are. And like, I'm still on one from these. Like the amount of sugar that is in these is, I know, it's nuts. Like, they're enjoyable, but honestly,
Now you know how he keeps singing that many songs in a concert, right?
Yeah, the guy's crushing the game. But anyways, these are very, very nice. Thank you to Justin for those. We had a taste of them. I had the sour cream one, and you could just see they're just normal donuts basically. It's like the sour cream one is sour cream glazed, loaded with like just tons of sugar. Like, I don't even know.
Seen these?
Let's take a look.
Oh no, those no. That's what you do. If you need a sugar high,
That's what I'm
you
saying,
jump on.
like-
You can't eat that and then sit in the desk for another 2 hours. There's no way.
First of all, you'll run out of energy, I think, when the sugar dies down. But anyways, thank you so much to Justin at Trader TV Justin there. Not on the afternoon, but had a great episode segment with us this morning. Okay, so yeah. Just an update here. Someone said Sean's long CEI, so therefore am I. But no, I mean, I was long CEI. We're just holding. It's a very, very small position, literally 10%. We have 8 outs here. And the last out was just for like 3 pennies. We were long at 05, what am I long at? 04, 05 here. 05, and then we got some out at 10, and then we also got some out at 6. So it was really for this run up here in the pre-market when it just started going, man. It started taking out levels. We watched it go from 95, break 1. I was like, okay, I actually missed the breakout one there. And I wasn't looking at it yet. We watched it, but I didn't see that it broke 1. And then when it came up to 105, there was size there, and we busted the long break, and we got 105 actually. And then on the way back in here, I'm just holding out for some of these pre-market bottoms. So we'll see what does happen. And right now, new trade alert, guys. So Mbot right now starting to go back up. Again, another trade that we took early, breaking 9, out 960. So we're already up 60 cents on Mbot. And here it goes again, just starting to get going. And what it did here was take this out. It just took out this bottom, 840. So we got punched long here, 843. Let's see where we go from here. Mbot, going to try to hold this one back down here to the day's low, 780. Let's just see if some of these names get a little wild here into the close. Obviously, we're going to put it out right where we've had some tops here coinciding with VWAP. So we'll wait to see if we get 880. We'll see if we can take 40 cents. And after that, back up to day's high, please, Mbot. So right now, we've got this one on board. Let's see how far we go here. Mbot, right now, with a nice little win, as it's in the money, 20 cents are bouncing around anyways. Let's go back over to the big desk.
Yeah, crazy move for Mbot on volume, as Sean was mentioning there this afternoon. Wanted to get your take here, Arun. On a per Tim Beeb basis, what would you say the calories would be? I was actually surprised by that.
Okay. Before I answer that question, Frank in the chat says one of these go for $5 a piece in Chicago. I'm like, who's paying $5 for one? I'm like,
I mean, in Chicago. What does that mean? Like
in Chicago?
No, I know, but
So he's in Chicago and they're willing to pay $5 for one of them.
Don't they have a Tim Hortons there?
No,
They're big Bieber fans, apparently.
And then if they don't have it, but that's I'm just.
Someone's reselling them, clearly.
I'm worried about the freshness at that point.
Well, I mean,
You know.
some people don't care. Okay, calorie counts. I'm going to say for that.
I mean, I don't know what a normal one is like. Like, is it 350?
For one, though? For a single piece, right?
For one, yeah.
For one?
Full one.
Okay, I'm going to say the sugar content. First, I think the sugar matters more than the calorie because I feel like the sugar content is going to be somewhere like 40 grams for one. And calories, there you go. Sean's got his Mbot trade cashing out.
Oh, the Mbot trade, it says, Justin Bieber, hold my Bieber, because as you go up to the upside here, screw how many calories that is. Who cares? You could drink your sorrows away with profits as we go there. But okay, I'll say 195. I have no idea how much is in one, but what's your guess quickly?
For what? Calories?
Yeah, man, that's the question.
I'm still thinking.
Okay.
What's your answer?
I just said 195. Just
for one.
Yeah, I have no idea.
No.
You tell me.
I have no clue. I'm just going to go with the sugar content.
104 per. That's actually the highest. It goes from 74 to 104. I was surprised. I thought it would be higher. 45 grams of fat, though, which is
Sugar on that?
a lot. It actually doesn't say for some reason.
Of course they don't say it.
No, I'll look it up. Anyways, let's move on. Godaddy was a big mover pre-market. Ends up being quite a good trade here this morning, guys. 79 up to 82, 83 at the highs. We run into a wall, however, at 83 and change. We're back to 82 support, though, but 8% here after Starboard takes a 6.5% stake in Godaddy.
Yeah, just reading the chat here. Yeah, Godaddy, I didn't even look at it today. We did have it on our watches. It didn't have the great volumes early on, but we, again, just on that Mbot trade, we got out of half of that right where we said we would, man, at 75. Right at, VWAP is 81. So we got out of that, and that's basically as high as it went. It only went to 90. I do kind of expect this now to fade out, but we could get another run. But right there, a nice little upward move and a cash register type of trade there. As we are at the highest spot we've been at, all day, and even into last week with the kind of trades that we've been having today. GDDY, I don't think either one of us got into this name, and for me, it's just not really my style. Although we're upside pretty good right now on GoDaddy. I think it was, we broke through some of those key levels in the morning. 8%. So this is the only thing that we missed, was right in here, where you got the good news. And Neil and I talked about this a little bit, looking for different opportunities. You get the initial pop, which is normally me, buying some of these highs, and then it comes right back in and then bases out. Let me zoom in a little bit more here on GoDaddy. This is really right in here where you want to get it. So an initial pop off the open, you see, it's not a lot of volume. This is like 100,000 shares off the open, and then a move to the upside, right? A stop. It doesn't really matter where it stops. And then it comes back in and then just builds its base. So once you start to see a base, like maybe you give it 5 or 10 minutes of this, but like probably in here somewhere, you could have probably gotten these 80s or even 81 right here on VWAPs. VWAP wouldn't have been here at that time, but 80, 81, something like that. And then your out would just be, like I said, I like to start at where this candle starts. So like 80.50 or something like that. So again, you take about a 50 cents worth of risk, and then now in the first hour of trading or so, it goes, I guess that's an hour and a half, it goes up to 83. So you take a long here, about 81, you get $2 worth up there to 83.50 or so, which was worth it. So that's like a 2 to 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio on that play. That's pretty sweet for sure. And I see people want me to call him Pratty Daddy. So people are saying Pratty Daddy right now, not yelling, but mentioning to us that we just took out 180 there on Apple. And for me, that's Apple, again, one of the largest holdings in my long-term portfolio. And I am now officially going to, and the thing is, we only had one of these. I just tipped it. Like now all these sugars going everywhere. Apple continues to be, I was going to say, stealing one from Kramer here, hold, don't trade. This is just to the upside. We actually did a video last week, I believe, when we talked about, it was Santa Claus rally, I believe. We did it on, and I said just buy Apple, because if there is a rally, then boom goes the dynamite with Apple. And that was down here 170. I don't know where it was. Actually, no. What am I talking about? That's the daily chart. We want to look at the daily chart. That was down here like 171, 172. And now today you're getting a nice little bump up to 180. So 4 or 5% from when we talked about it last week, and still more room to go here on the best and the biggest, Apple.
It was impressive. Randy and I were actually sitting here in the pre-market talking about the lineups at Apple stores all throughout the holidays and over the holiday weekend, obviously. Even if you pre-ordered, prepaid online, go to pick it up in store, you're still waiting an hour to pick up whatever you bought at the store, obviously because of reduced capacity and whatnot. Speaking of, this was a minor headline this morning. Foxconn's India plant shut down for another 3 days after a COVID outbreak last week. So minor headline on Apple there, but clearly that was no big deal for Apple overall. I mentioned oil. This was what we're looking at this morning. Oil was down, but has reversed since on a big move back to the upside. We didn't mention Tesla yet, but we can. No more playing games on the infotainment screen, as our friend Justin was telling us, if you joined us late in the morning show this morning. No longer can you play games while under motion for Tesla drivers and passengers, but that didn't matter either for Tesla, guys.
No, I haven't seen Tesla. I mean, we talked about this last week. You weren't here, Brendan, but oops, that's still Apple. But when Tesla gets going, it just gets ramped up and just go, go, go. This is going to be a 1 minute chart. Unfortunately, we do still, we still do chart D prints, which are to the downside there. So that's going to influence this chart. But look at this on a 1 minute area here. 1075 bottom, and then it was like, just see you later. It just kept going to the upside, to the upside, to the upside. Right now, we are struggling a little bit to take out this 117, but up 4% on really nothing. I mean, last week they got the Berlin news coming through. It looks like they'll get approval on that Berlin plant, or they already have approval, but should start production. And that's the 1118 area, top there for Tesla. Look, I mean, I keep saying this as well to everybody, and I think a lot of people think the same way. Oh man, like I got to clean that up, but Tesla right now just continues to work. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4 days. 4 days ago, we were at 880. Okay, so 4 days ago, we were at 880, and now we climbed to 1108. So just in those couple of days, it's up like 20% there in the last week or so. So Tesla continues to work. Like, I can't believe a company of this market cap can just move it around as easy as they can. So we're going to be talking about some terminology coming up, and I want to use one called float, share float. And I mean, I can't believe the way Tesla moves, considering, the shares outstanding, the price of this stock. It continues to be bought by everybody, hedge funds, index arbs, everything. Tesla just keeps rocking and rolling up another 4%. I would say don't short this until we get another, piece of news from Elon or something. But for right now, let's just pick it up on the next time. And I said, every time Elon sells, it's kind of like a share offering, right? And it, not really, because it doesn't dilute the shares, but at the same time, it just forces pressure on the stock and it just gets bought up. So if he offers again, and maybe we get down to that 950, then we buy. But right now, this is on one to the upside. Tesla's all-time high, if I can find it here, quickly is, what do we think it is? I think it's like 1208 or something. Tesla 1243, so still a little bit of room to go, but the way it's moving, we could be at 1240 by the end of the week. So 1243 all-time high for Tesla. It's only $140 from here.
Speaking of some terminology, let's discuss some trading terms, guys. We've had a little bit of a discussion on this in the past, talking about some of the basics. If you watch the show on a regular basis, you might run into some terms that are used that you kind of think, what does that mean? Why are they saying this so much? And why on earth don't I understand? So we're going to go through some intermediate trading terms here for you guys. Here comes a few. Let's start things off, Sean, maybe with you, and we'll discuss, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a, so the first one I'm going to do is PDT. We always hear, this is a little bit, remember, this is intermediate, so we're not going to go too high level here, but we'll talk and make some sense of things. And that's the pattern day trading rule, right? It was developed in 2001. The reason why we have this rule, let's define for first of all what it is. And that is that you can't make you have to make 4 or more. You cannot. You can make 4 trades in 5 days. So that's what that rule is. If you have a margin account in the US, a cash margin account, so not just a cash account, but a margin account, we're able to borrow money, right? So, and the reason why is you're only, first of all, so again, that's 4 trades in 5 days, right? If your account is under $25,000. So the idea is to try to fund it above $25,000 so you don't get classified under PDT, okay? We don't have that here in Canada, but that's what the rule is. And the reason why is back in the .com days, literally IPOs were popping off, similar to today actually, where IPOs start popping off and not just like where, okay, Rivian's price is 68, it comes out at 106, and then you got to sort of play the game. These IPOs were coming out at 68 and running to like $150. So there was a lot of hype and a lot of like sort of excitement around day trading, but the feds, the SEC, and so on and so forth, FINRA, everybody thought that maybe it was getting a little bit overblown. And of course, to protect the trader and the investor, like we need protecting, they said, hey, so you don't get carried away, so you don't blow all that money that you've made, let's put it in the pattern day trading rule. So it limits you from making those, you can 4 or more. So 4 is the maximum that you can do. I was looking this up. Some said 3, but it looks like it's 4. So some people are saying it's 3 trades. I see that in the chat, but for me, I looked it up. I guess it prevents you from making 4 or more. So the maximum you could make is 3. So prevents you from making 4 or more. I must have read that wrong on that page. So 3 trades over 25,000. If your count is over, you're cool. If it's under, then that's what that is. And again, so what that's done for some of us is not allow us really to take advantage of some of these huge runners, because if you know that you only have, and what is a day trade? It's in and out of the same security in one day, right? So as you can see here, it really limits you from playing some of these runners. So that's the first thing there, pattern day trade rule. The fourth is suspension or suspension gets flagged. So you're gonna have to watch out for that, right? So again, that's pattern day trading rule. Find it out. Obviously there, when I was saying 4 or more versus 3, that is what that is. The other one I wanna talk about quickly is float. And people will say, hey, why are they trading that stock? Why is Arun in that? Why is Neil in that? Why is Sean in that? Why are we talking about it? Why is it on our list, right? Well, it's because of float. We have a lot of stocks that are low float stocks, right? And I mean, what a float means is the amount of shares that are outstanding. So when shares go outstanding into the marketplace, for example, on an IPO, they may only release 5 million shares. And what the problem is, if it's at $10 each share, the company's worth $50 million. So and I have Tesla up here on the screen. And what I wanted to show you quickly was it's very, very hard to run a stock up or down, like an AMC or something like that, if you have a really large float. So let's just take, for example, Bank of America. It's not a super expensive stock. We're going to look at BAC here. We're going to call it up, and we're going to see where's the float. So here, here it is. 8 billion shares. So it's going to be hard for retailers, somebody to post something on Reddit or get this stock moving, because retail won't affect it that much. It's only 8 billion shares. Now, sure, you could go in and buy options, things like that, yada, 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 as it goes. But then you're looking at a stock maybe like an Mbot, a name that we've traded today here, and you're going to go and you're going to see this float, 6 million shares on Mbot, right? So again, that float allows it for easier, I don't want to say manipulation. It's just like if people start getting excited to trade some of these names, like an Mbot, like I've been doing today, right? And again, we've made some nice moves, but that's how you get a stock to go from $5 all the way to $9, almost $10 in one day because of the low float. Now, things that can change the float. Obviously, the float does not include restricted shares that may be held by employees or may be held by investors during IPO lockup periods. So that's one thing that can affect it. There's also splits that can affect it, either reversed or conditional. And then, of course, there's share offerings, where a stock will come out and want to raise capital. And then what they'll do in that case is add to their float. So some 6 million shares, if Mbot comes out and says, you know what, we want to raise another million shares, we want to raise another $80 million, or $8 million, so they'll go $1 million into the market at $8. Hopefully people will buy them up. The stock will probably fall down on a bad pricing, and that's how it works. So you're looking for low float stocks that will run, but that's how float works.
So I'm going to talk about 2 things. One is going to be more trade related. It's going to be, I say this often too, when I'm trying to set up some trades, I talk about fading. I'm going to fade the stock. I'm going to fade that. It just essentially means is that when it's coming up to, say, a major level, like in this case, we'll use Facebook, ignoring today, let's just like this. If we're coming up to a major level, like in this case, 345, what I want to do is go against the current trend. If the trend is to the upside and we're coming up into a resistance level, what I'm looking for is a potential short against the current trend. So stock is moving up and moving up well. I'm just looking to fade or go against it and see if I can actually get the stock to rotate back down. So it's just a matter of playing against the grain a little bit. You have to be smart, obviously, on how you time this, because you can either go to the short side, which is what the fading portion is. I sometimes say I'm going to fade this into a long two. That's probably not the right term. I just don't know what the buy side portion of it is. But I know that when I say fade, I'm just looking to play against the grain of the current move because it's coming up to support or some major level that I want to work with. So here we are trying to set something up. And then in this case, in Facebook's case for today, if we were trading slowly or if we set something up close to this 345 before we broke it, I would have faded the rally. But given the strength of it, we never went on the short side. And that's, you just got to be smart about how things move. The other one, specifically related to the market as a whole. A lot of the time I come on, I talk about the futures and how they're running and how they're moving. Today is one of those days where we've been moving pretty hard and aggressive in the last little bit. To the upside though, what I want to pay attention to is circuit breakers. to the downside. We talk about stocks halting all the time because of their conditions, 10% within 5 minutes. They halt, but the market also has a halt condition attached to it. So in the event the futures are down, and let me see if I can actually zoom this in. There we go. This is directly from New York. The S&P 500 as an index has 3 different circuit breakers. There's one at the 7%, one at the 13, and one at the 20%. Now these are obviously to the downside in the event the market were to fall off. And we do have to be aware of this. As strong as the markets are, we have to know what conditions the market will be essentially cut off if we were to fall. At 7%, if we were already hit the 7% marker, and this is not in like a 5-minute condition, it's like as throughout the day, if we were to hit 7% to the sell side, the market would stop trading for 15 minutes, opens back up, goes again. Level 2 halt would be 13%. And then if we ever hit level 3, it'll be 20%, and then at that point, once we hit 20%, done for the day, trading starts again at 9:30. So essentially, markets are open for trading at 9:30. Even though futures have Globex hours, in the event the 20% rule gets hit, we do wait until the following morning, until the stock market as a whole opens, before we are open for trading on the future side of things. So I think people should be aware that there are market-wide circuit breakers in place for the futures as a whole, not just individual stocks as well. I think that's something to keep in mind, as sometimes when we start to go to the sell side, this is something that gets brought up a lot more and more. So be aware of what that means.
The PDT rule, of course, is maximum 3 trades in 5 days. So that's how that works. And then again, it resets every 90 days. So a little bit of confusion there, and that's my bad. It was that 4 or more is when you start to get flagged. So what's allowed is the 3 over the 5 days, Brendo.
All right, let's make it an even 5, shall we? Real quick, I'll wrap it up with this one, guys, because we're coming back into earnings season again. And during earnings season, you may hear us say guidance a lot during the show. And that is very, very simply down here, a company's public estimates of its current quarter and futures, or future, not futures as in the market, earnings outlook. So very quick, we gave you PDT, pattern day trade rule. We gave you float. We gave you fade. We gave you a whole bunch of great terms, guys, including earnings guidance or guidance. When we're in earnings season, you're going to hear the word guidance a lot. So there you go, some intermediate trading terms. Let's have a look at a few more things here, guys, as we move along. Through the last 2 hours of the day, we were talking about Godaddy just breaking back to the downside after that hold or attempt at a hold there at 82. I just saw some volume coming back in through 82 there, breaking back down for Godaddy. But it's been an interesting day for some of these little teeny tiny ones. We had Marin Software, one we've traded many times in the past, MRIN. There's FTFT. Alpha Pro Tech is another one. APT just starting to go once again. APT is a COVID test maker, along with all the medical equipment as well. MOGO just popping up here, just going through some of the ones that are moving around still. CEI, though, one we were looking at in the pre-market, Camber Energy was up on positive news. I mean, this thing's back to $1, but 85 million shares on the day for CEI today.
Yeah, someone, so people that are watched Trader Prad's show and then now on to ours, someone said that Prad, I don't know, they said that he lied, but I'm going to explain that he didn't. CEI, so we're unable, I'm in CEI. So it's not a pink sheet stock. Someone said that Trader Prad said that we're not allowed to trade pink sheet stocks sub $1. He's right about that. So if something closes, and because CEI is on the Amex, that's what AM means, right? NYSE American, so it's not the pink sheets. Pink sheets would be like GBTC, and if you ever see us with it, .PK. That is the pink sheets, and of course, that's over-the-counter OTC market. So we're able to trade these, and GBTC is a big one. We have Jeff Mendel, VP of OTC markets, on all the time. So just to clarify that, CEI is on NYSE American, and then what Prad was getting at when someone asked him was, they were trying to trade this, AABB, and I know they're just trying to pump it, so that's fine, and saying that this could go. We do have it on. It's done 78 million shares. The problem is, for risk purposes, different stock are classified under different rules. It's not like once you're listed on the NASDAQ, you're on the NASDAQ. At the OTC market, they have different restrictions on rules, and anything under $1, many clearing firms and our broker won't clear these trades for us either in a timely manner or they're just blocked for restricted purposes. They're too low value here. Even though this is obviously pretty steady, it's just you won't see us in any PK trades sub $1. Sometimes maybe Ethereum Trust, which is ETHE, so on and so forth. So I just wanted to clarify that and to say that Pratt had his his P's and Q's lined up there. He was right. It's just that AABB sub dollar, we don't trade it on the pink sheets. That's AMC, but we wanted CEI. So today that news came about CEI, and it just started ramping up. I mean, you could see really nothing happening Thursday, Friday, kind of a very, very, I guess it was Thursday, not Friday, very, very calm down here, 86 cents, kind of just blah, 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 not doing anything. And then today on a financing deal, made a move all the way to the upside, and good for us that we took that $1.05 break, because since then, there's really been nothing happening. I can't believe I have a $1.24 out. Each one of these, though, is just 10%. So it wasn't a huge trade, but again, because it's $1, able to take more shares and be pretty comfortable with it. But since then, all afternoon and basically since that move right there, it's just been faded all the way back down. We were using some of these pre-market levels as an out, but again, we didn't have many shares left. We only had 40% at this point. Now, for some reason, I only have 10%. So there must be two outs here somewhere, or one that I don't see, unless one of these was 20%. But anyways, all the way back out, our best out was 110 since we've reopened, or I guess, since this trade. And first out was at VWAP, next one was out there, and now we're just holding. So for me, Camber just continues to be a sleeping giant. We've seen this name do close to 1 billion shares, I believe. I want to say that. Let me just go over here to the daily. Yeah, so that probably is right. Right here. How many shares? Yeah, there. Yeah, wow, good. Decent memories sometimes. 950 million shares in back-to-back days here. So 3 or 4, they had about a week or two here of just nuts. We went all the way up to $4. And again, being pushed around in early September. This is another name. It does not have a low float, but they do have the ability to make some moves here with it only being $1. But I just feel like, hey, we went up to the 50-period moving average on this name today, and then no surprise, it faded back in. CEI would be on my radar for tomorrow. Like, I think this is a trade that you could swing into, especially now that it's back out $1. I mean, the bottom you have, there's no real reason. And again, you don't want to take 25,000 shares and lose 25 pennies here. But at the same time, I believe your downside is probably, even if you took it and you got out if it broke $1, you're probably fine. I don't even know if it breaks $1 today. The risk is really overnight on this trade. So for me, CEI, we're almost out of it. We're holding 10% left, and it's not a trade I'm not interested in anymore.
Market, guys, does not want to stop. New highs here for the overall S&P just happened there a couple of minutes back. We're at all-time highs, obviously. One of those, or one of the reasons why, is this group. These chip makers have been, started the show off showing you AMAT, but these chip makers have been so strong today. Take your pick here. NVIDIA, there's AMD, AMAT, there was a headline on making highs as well. But just notice this NVIDIA up 5% back to day highs.
Oh, NVIDIA.
Loving
NVIDIA.
it.
We were trying to get NVIDIA when it was
300.
At 300, when it was cracking 300. It was right there.
Don't look.
And here it is now north of 310. What can you say? Tech names are hot, and when they get going, they are taking off. One tech name that I just got out of finally is Facebook. We just dumped our last bit of Facebook here. We were long around, what is that, 10.20? We got into a long at Facebook, just north of 345, held it, got some out 346.50, so a nice $1.50 win on the first half, and then we just dumped the last little bit for a 90-something cent winner. As it cracked 346. So we're completely moving away. Another one of these big names that has been moving. NVIDIA took off to the upside this morning, and then I think Apple took its time, because we were long on Apple too, but it actually came down and I dumped it. I was long right here. 177 went all the way, 178 got some out, and then dumped the rest below 177.5, and here it is just breaking back underneath 180. It looks like some of these big names are coming off a little bit, so all the hot names that have been moving well for the day, the Facebooks that just dumped, Apple, NVIDIA is still strong though, and we should take a quick look at Microsoft just because that rounds out the top 2 here. Microsoft going sideways. I'm noticing that my MasterCard position is also coming off a little bit, so why don't we start taking some profits? We are in the money quite well. Is the NASDAQ falling off?
Something's starting to drop down here. I don't know what... if there's any news hitting the wire here. I don't think it's a big move, But yeah, I mean, when you zoom out, I mean, it doesn't look very big, but kind of catching off guard. Now you zoom in, it looks a little bit better, a little bit of a drop off there. So I don't know. Didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I just, you were talking about some of your positions coming off, and then I noticed that the NASDAQ is making a decent move down here. I'm not really seeing anything, but this is not a small, I mean, it's being exaggerated here. This is the SMH, sorry, my bad. This is the NASDAQ. I want to talk about the SMH, but here's the NASDAQ, similar, or maybe I did just show the NASDAQ, coming off here again, just wicked down to some of their bottoms, noon bottoms there. So I don't know. Did you want to manage some of your positions, or
no?
I know you have some hero longs.
I've got some orders out. I mean, like right now we've got Home Depot up $3.43 in the money. Qualcomm is up 173 and MasterCard up 195. I'm trying to protect some on MasterCard here because I'm noticing MasterCard is starting to come off a little bit. It's $360 too. So I think if it gets down, and we've seen it before, if the spread opens up on MasterCard, that could become a problem. So I am starting to get some of MasterCard out, and HUT just absolutely refuses to cooperate. So it didn't go up when the market was going up. It actually came down, and now the market's coming down, and it just keeps going down even further. So relative weakness in HUT, which is going to not help my case. So we may have to take a hit on HUT.
I'm actually concerned about HUT. So we talked about last week, you know, managing some money. So we stepped in. We're starting to manage some family money. And, you know, I got buying SMH. So I bought SMH here. I really love this. And if you don't want to play the AMATs, the AMDs, the NVIDIAs, things like that, my pick of 2021 was SMH. And again, it's a semiconductor holding. And I just think that, again, it's the pick of 2021. The pick of 2020 was PayPal. And I really think, we talked about this last week, I'm really excited about SoFi. I think SoFi could be a play of 2022. We'll talk about that. But look at SMH today. Just straight upside, man. Up 2.5%. Keeps on kicking, keeps on ticking. Nice upside moves here. If you look at the daily chart for the SMH, the semiconductor holding, you can see it's been a beautiful move here. And again, like in an ETF, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is why I had to get some serious cash into this one. People said, oh, he must be Italian when he's talking about managing family money. But you can go to the downside right here. This is where we called it, man. SMH for trade of the year, which for me, down to 214, up to 314. So $100 on 200. Nice little 50% return this year on this name. And I just think it continues to work. If you're nervous about the AMDs, the SMH, or the NVIDIAs, you can get some Marvell. They're all wrapped up into one. So I really do like SMH moving forward here. Just like you were talking about there, I was going to say Brendan, but your name is Arun. What's up, Arun? Some of these, come on, let's go AMC. Some of these names starting to come off a little bit. We were long AMC. What a great bid that was down there at 27. Like, hello, all the way back up to the upside. And then we started shorting up here, and that paid off. But look where the short stopped, right into some of this pre-market traffic. So we got to watch out for this. As I see Daniel Shea getting ready to rock and roll to come on. Wow, what a nice Christmas tree I see in the background. So we'll say happy holidays to her. Excited to have her back on. And again, a friend of the show coming to talk about options. We'll see. If we have enough time, I'm going to ask her a few things as well. But we'll see how that works out. So far, so good. AMC, I just want to give everyone a quick update. If we do take some of the, I mean, maybe we, you know what? Forget it. Let's let it ride. Let's take some. Where's my dice? Where's the dice rolling on here? I don't like to do it because I know there's so much. I don't even know where my dice are here anymore. I don't see it. So let's do this. Idea. Ding. We'll have an idea of holding AMD for a little bit longer. I don't want to upset the apes, though. Ape Nation, we're just very, very small piece. We have about a third left of what we initially had. So we'll see if it takes out 29.50. We're going to hold AMC till it does that, Brendo.
And obviously for that Spider-Man film, again, I have to ask Danielle about the EV space because it's been a crazy one this year. I wanted to mention Nicola here, guys, real quick before we get to Danielle Shea, VP of Options at Simpler Trading. Nicola here, back to day lows, but trying to hold 1080, which if you go out to a daily chart, is actually a pretty good level here for Nicola. So I mean, if I zoom out here, I mean, huge move on Thursday on those truck deliveries, on the SEC settlement they came to. I mean, do you dare dip a toe in here to Nicola?
Yeah.
You did? Did
Yeah.
you? Yeah. Okay.
Not on my own account, on the day on day trading. Go ahead.
I was going to say I would.
I just like that
if
9
we
level.
were to get around that 1050, then I could put up 50 cents of risk and maybe take it down to 10. But I'd wait a little bit. I mean, momentum is to the sell side. I'd wait for some rotation before I get involved on Nicola. on the buy side of things, but we are entering a nice little zone that we can potentially find some trades. It's just a matter of waiting for the right time to do it. So here we are. We're getting closer and closer to that goal location, which is around that 1050, but wait for it to spin around. It is still got that negative momentum. You can see it. Look at the trend here, all day, every day, I guess. From 12, here we are down at 1070 and still negative bias. So once we get a turnaround around that 1050, I think there could be a nice little long 50-cent risk. Take a shot, right?
Look, I bet if I asked Ms. Shea about this, look at this $9 bottom here on Nikola, right? Like, this is a spot where, and again, we're going to talk a little bit of options. We'll figure out how this goes, but you know, this is where we liked Nikola. And we talked about this. I got some slack here, trading this live on the show. Why are you long Nikola? And it was at, you know, I was long when this was down here at 9 and change. It ripped up to the upside. We made good, decent money that day. And then today, basically, I wrote it down on the sticky note. And again, guys, thanks for continuing to support that. We only had 4 names on there. And I just liked the moves that we've had over the last couple of days in Nikola, right? Super strong. We busted through that 10 and went all the way to 1150. But now today, you know, some of the volume is obviously dying down on Nikola, although it's still 32 million, which is decent. That all happened in the first 10, 15 minutes, and that's where we hit the long and out, then it just started fading. We defended that 11, we're able to get some out at 11.15, then it cracked all the way back down. We took a 1080, which we talked about. We liked that 1080 bid, but then when it wasn't going, we just got out, and then on a 1075 break, we got the rest out. So today, Nikola's basically flat to nothing right there. So yeah, Nikola today, kind of a sick trade. So we're not really worried about Nikola. I would actually fade this name and now look to go short off of the delivery of a whopping 1 vehicle last week there, Brandon. So for me, I still want to be short Nikola. Just have to find some areas to get there.
Hey, it was a really nice truck though that they did deliver. As promised, Danielle Shea, VP of Options at Simpler Trading, back in the building. We're so thrilled to have her. And I want to start things off, Danielle, by letting everyone know, in an effort to expand our horizons a little bit and expand our knowledge around here a little bit, Danielle is going to be joining us on a regular basis coming up in the new year. We're going to talk all about options. We'll answer questions for you guys. We'll talk about trade ideas for you guys. Yeah, it's going to be all kinds of awesome to have Miss Danielle Shea back with us on a regular basis. It's so good to have you, Danielle. How have you been, first of all? And as Sean said, happy holidays.
Thank you so much. I've been great. How about you? I'm really glad to be back on the show.
We're doing well. It's snowing like crazy here, which I'm sure you'll laugh at because you're in Texas, but it's a little wintry. But let's get into the market, shall we? It's been an amazing year, although I was kind of thinking during lunch as we were discussing this, it doesn't really feel like a 23, 24% kind of year for the S&P 500. Coming from an options side of things and coming from an options trader's perspective, does that matter? Do you like those huge outside move kind of years when you get those 20+% moves on a year, or do you like it more volatile back and forth?
I mean, this year has been pretty good for the most part. However, what I would say was the issue with this year is that even though the indexes are up at highs, we haven't really seen a huge portion of those stocks at highs. So with options trading, it's just really important to focus on specific stocks that are moving because, I mean, we've seen, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, those stocks have had big momentum and big movement, but we've seen momentum drop out of a wide variety of stocks. So with options trading, you just really have to focus on the ones that are continuing to move.
Do some individual sectors maybe. Talk about maybe your best from the year, your worst from the year, maybe a surprise sector from the year. Where did you see the most opportunity?
So, I mean, just going off of what Sean was saying, I was going to say, SMH has been great for me, both in just holding shares and also in trading, because, you do have that volatility there, but you also have that outsized movement when it compares to the S&P or the NASDAQ. So, I've been focusing a lot on AMD, NVIDIA. For me, I would say the best move was NVIDIA running into the split. I really like to trade these kind of more volatile names, relative strength names prior to earnings, but especially if they announce a split. We've seen Apple, we've seen Tesla, we've also seen NVIDIA just have these really big outsized moves prior to a split. So that's something I'm going to be looking for next year as well.
On the spot here, let's talk about one. Give me one name, whether it be from the SMH, whether it be your best stock of the year, whether it be a surprise name of the year. Give us your 2021 stock of the year.
Ooh, 2021 stock of the year. So I can tell you for last year for sure was Cloudflare. So last year I had a ton of fun with Cloudflare. This has been a pretty crazy mover. I really got focused on the cybersecurity space this year. And I try not to say, well, you know, Cloudflare was my favorite last year, so hopefully it'll continue to be the same. But I am still leaning towards both Cloudflare and DDOG because I think the cybersecurity is just going to continue to be really important. And with the move that we've seen lately in those stocks, I mean, now they're at much better buying places than they were several weeks ago.
Looking back, obviously an interesting year for all of those names that came into play because of breaches of one sort or the other. If we had to take away, this is the time of year, you know, traders like to sit down, kind of look back at how they did this year, where they did well, where they did not so well. Give us your takeaways from this year. It's been a very interesting one, obviously. I mean, COVID aside and the opportunities that COVID presented aside, what are your thoughts here going into the final four, it's amazing to say, trading days of 2021?
So my major takeaway from this year has really just been focused on the fact that we haven't seen this broad market rally like what we saw last year. I mean, last year, you could pretty much close your eyes and any stock you could pick, it would move with the market. But this year, especially once you got to around summertime, you absolutely just had to focus on those relative strength names that have high volume. There's a lot of retail traders out there now. I'm sure as all of you and all of your listeners know, we've just had a huge influx of retail traders to the market, and we've been moving those markets. So you really have to focus on the areas that are moving on high volume and those relative strength names, because without being, a stock picker, you're not just going to be able to pick out any kind of tech company or any type of discretionary company and have that work.
If we had to, it's a great call. It's an interesting idea to look at the amount of volume simply that has come from that side. We've discussed it. Brokers have put out figures this year that have just been mind-boggling if you compare them to prior years. So an interesting thought. Let's talk a little bit about what's to come in 2022. If you rewind the tape back to, this time last year or this time in 2020, we were talking a lot about the reopening ideas, the travel names, that kind of a thought. Is that still on the table, A, and B, if not, what are you excited about in 2022?
I would say at this point, the reopening idea is just a little bit overdone. I know that we've had a lot of great trades starting back even just at the beginning of the pandemic, looking at, what are the stocks that are going to be doing well work from home? That trade is kind of dead to me at the moment. The reopening trades, I think that those are just going to fizzle back and forth. What I really want to focus on next year is I want to focus on strong companies with strong fundamentals. I want to focus on the top stocks in each sector and focus on rotating back and forth between those. For example, home builders, those have been really strong. I like trading DR Horton. I like trading Lowe's, Home Depot. We also have consumer discretionary. Tesla is a great ticker to trade. Amazon's been consolidating for what seems like forever, but I think that Amazon is setting up big. I also like John Deere. It's a main name in the industrial space. So really what I'm focusing on is looking at kind of the top names within each sector. And of course, tech. Obviously, Microsoft, NVIDIA, AMD. But I really focus on those big names that have a lot of volume in the options market and focus on rotating back and forth between those based on when they could be potentially running into an earnings report or when they're consolidating and look like they're going to break out.
Hey, Daniel, really happy to, Danielle, happy to have you on the show one more time. And you just gave a bunch of names there, so I don't want to talk too much about stocks anymore. The only one thing I want to talk about, are you a fan of the NFL by any chance, living there in Texas?
So funny story. I just went back to visit my family in Seattle, and I'm actually from Kansas City. And my entire family are huge Chiefs fans. So I don't normally watch a lot of football, but being with my family, watching the Chiefs Chargers game was actually a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So, you know, you will find me rooting for the Chiefs if there's some people around that I can enjoy Sunday with.
So I can't have that much fun here because I'm a Packers fan, and I was going to say, like, I want to go Dallas versus Green Bay type of thing. Maybe we'd be able to make a bet. But see, now Green Bay doesn't get to beat Kansas City until they meet in the Super Bowl, right? And so hopefully we'll have you back on. Well, we will have you back on before then. So I just want to see where your allegiances were in the NFL. But you just went over a bunch of great names. So I'm going to save a couple of those questions for the next time you're on. But I want to give a big thank you and a big welcome back to Danielle Shea from Simpler Trading. Trader coming on the show. Brendan, what a great guest. What a great grab. Thank you, Danielle. Look really forward to talking to you more.
Thank you too.
It's been a while. We're thrilled to have you back, Danielle. We'll let you go. Have a wonderful, have a safe, happy New Year, and we will speak to you again soon.
Thanks. You as well.
Good to see you. There we go, guys. A lot of names mentioned, a lot of ideas kind of thrown around there as far as how this year went, what to expect going into next year. As I said, Danielle's going to be joining us on a regular basis, weekly, in fact, to talk options here on this show.
Yeah, so I did have a couple of questions set up for her, but you know, it's her first time back on. Next time we're going to ask her, and some people are asking right now, and that's kind of the questions that I wanted to ask. How do you determine the best value for an option? You know, and I actually had Nicola up here, and I wanted to talk about, is this kind of where you put on some of the longs, you know, when you get down to some of these pressure points, or is this maybe the other way, or do you put on a spread or whatever? So we are going to talk more to Danielle as she comes back on there in the next little while. So Trader Danielle Shea from Simpler Trading coming through there, and that was a good guess. And I think we'll have her on more and more and more. And again, just for you that are trading options out there, a great little talk and a good mind as far as that is concerned. And yeah, you know what? Kansas City Chiefs. I have an uncle that's from Kansas City, so I do have an allegiance with the Kansas City Chiefs. Neil over there, not that you're Neil, but Neil, who sits right there, prefers the Buffalo, not prefers, is a Buffalo Bill fan. And of course, he and I shared season tickets for the longest time. And then we got married and kids came, and, you know, it was hard to wake up at. We used to get there like before the games, like 8 o'clock, you'd tailgate, you'd throw down the eggs, you got the fried eggs there, you got the bacon, the coffee with a little bit of bourbon in there and whatnot. Tailgating, super fun. Shout out to Bill's Mafia, anybody out there as well. What a great experience. If you've ever had an opportunity to go to Buffalo, great times there. It's really crappy when the weather is bad because they're in a small town and they're surrounded. It's like you're surrounded by residential and plop stadium. Very hard to drive out of there, let alone cross the border back to Canada. But we never snuck back any booze, that's for sure. But we do like the Buffalo Bills, so shout out to Josh Allen and company. Hopefully they will meet the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. I don't know who's going from the AFC. It's pretty obvious who's going from the NFC. Shout out to all the Dallas Cowboy fans as we continue to have fun on Twitter. Okay, so that's that. Oh, someone said on the chat, I think it was Legacy somebody, and we got Defend. Yeah, you're welcome, man. Guy at Talax there. Yeah, we're really happy to bring back Danielle Shea. So, you know, it took a little, not that much work, but we're really happy to bring her back in. All right. Someone said, why is Sean in Mbot? I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you guys know what I'm about to hit here? I mean, I don't know. Why else are we in trades? It's to make a little bit of, and I don't see it, so we'll just go, yeah. I don't know, Rob, if you took out my money, did you take the money thing out of here? I don't see it anymore, so there it is right there. That goes right under the Santa. But this is why we're in every trade. We're trying to make some of that. So if you can see here on Mbot, we just waited very, very patiently. Realistically, a good buy. And again, like, I'm just trying to trade the breaks now because of the volume. As it's 3 o'clock, we only have an hour left in the day. As soon as it took out this area, now there's news on a partnership today for Mbot. So, and again, it was on my sticky note all day. we only have 4 names on there, and Mbot was one of them. So as you can see, this is what we're talking about. New partnership here with Stryker, already long in the pre-market. We're looking at 850 for support, right? So obviously when it comes back in to 850 again, and it breaks that level, then we're going to go long. So there it is, long early. We just took a 9 break. We missed all this down here. That was at that $7.80, $8 range. It comes back up. We build a base. We're looking to go long through 850. We take a 9. We're out right away at 960. So that's 60 cents. Then it comes back. We take the break. This is live on the show, by the way, when we took this at 217. It breaks through there. We even talked about getting locked and loaded for that. So our break is 844, which I believe is what we had. And then we just put our offer right at VWAP. And then within about, 1 minute, or was it the same minute? Yeah, 2 minutes later, it looks like that executes and we get out, and that seems to be the high. And then you want to know why we're in it again? Look at this. This is why we're in it. The money raining down right now is it's heading back up to the upside. The only problem now is, should we maybe be cleaning out some of these trades as we are getting close to, wrapping up the day? So that's something that we're looking at right now on Mbot, maybe getting out between 860 and 880, something like that into here. Let's hold it to see if we do take out that high, though. Not the high, but this recent move at 9. Maybe we get back to this level. 950 will be a great out for Mbot.
All right, I was actually looking at, Valeria posted this on an internal chat. It was a missed super chat. So Marcus, you sent that super chat earlier about companies lying about their positive guidance to pump up the stock and then just kind of retract it and change it for later. I'm like, yeah, there's got to be some SEC rules around that. Turns out it's not necessarily part of the SEC. Companies don't need to provide guidance, but in the event that you do retract, or in the event that you tend to lie, imagine if you're going to pump up the name for insider selling, right? You'd want to sell. If in the event something like that happens, I'm pulling this from a law firm here. It does say there's undue liability in the event that something were like that to happen. So if they were to kind of retract or pull a statement that's like misleading investors, and there's a ton of lawsuits attached to it. So it's saying that be very careful, since you're not necessarily needed to provide a guidance. If you do go down that road, that to be very careful about how you do it, because in the event that there is a mishap, there's a ton of liability attached to it. So I think companies got to be smart about how they're doing. It's also pretty obvious too, right? In the event that the stock goes up, someone lies, the stock goes up, and then they notice that there's insider selling because they have to file those forms. There's going to be losses coming down the drain from all investors, all shareholders. So I think it's going to be it's one of those things where it's not really worth the risk, because it puts essentially companies' financials in danger. So a great question, because I really had to dig deep, because I initially thought there's got to be some SEC rules around that, but turns out no, there isn't. It's because it's at the company's discretion to actually provide guidance, and in the event they choose to go down that road, liability is the concern at that point. So be smart about what they're releasing and when they're releasing it, because of what could be happening after the fact. I'm sure when you look at companies and you look at their, you see all these news articles, there's a lot of I've noticed that there's a lot of lawsuits, or there's a lot of shareholder action related to lawsuits coming down the drain for some stocks. I've run across some of them when I go on Yahoo Finance or something like that. So just there's your answer for that. It's just more of a liability issue for you to go down that road about lying about your guidances.
I just wanted to show something here. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Grant, for all the energy. Look, I'm trying to bring some energy today. We're just off of a big weekend. I mean, that was a big weekend for me, celebrating it with family and everybody. Big one. So I'm actually glad we only have 50 minutes left. We'll relax, we'll reset and come back. We only have one losing trade today. We'll talk about that. That's AAL. But I tweeted this out. Charles Hoskinson here, the developer the main guy for Cardano came through today and did a little bit of not a TED Talk, but just talked about where we're going with DeFi and what's going to happen with Cardano. But that's not the important thing. Watch this. So what's up to jam on it here? Do you think this is real? So this guy here is in some sort of a race. I don't know if this is real or not, but watch this. So again, everybody else chilling. Is this real?
aerodynamics.
Look at it. I know, but just look at this. This guy's looking like, what is going on? And here's Cardano, like, all right, here we go. So he's not being slowed down by his legs here, right? So everybody else has to pedal, keep up with it. This dude just going parabolic right here. Watch this. Watch what he's about to do, this guy. This guy's here. Oh, I'm working hard. I'm working hard. Here comes this guy just like planing. Watch this. See ya. So he's drifting now. This is what I do to Mario Kart on my kids, right? So I'm hanging out behind my kids in Mario Kart. Then you catch that drift. And then look at this. See ya. And then this guy's gone. So this guy just moves up like 20 spots there. And then brother here on his, moped here or whatever this is. He's like, all right, I'm doing this now. And then there we go. So I don't really know what this is all about, but if this is real, shout out, man. Like this dude, my new hero right now. And then he's like, okay, slow this thing down and back to biking again.
That is the most impressive part of that video is his ability to get his feet back on that bike.
Yeah, because so I don't know.
Given how fast the pedals are moving, that's great timing on his part. But aerodynamics all over the place and core strength to keep the legs up that long.
Exactly, that is nuts. Why am I even looking at this when I have 3 positions? Nobody knows. But there it is, man. Just trying to. And again, we educate, entertain, and what's the other one? But inform kind of seems like education to me. But I don't know. I knew it was inform, but I had to think that couldn't be right. But educate, inform, and something else again. Entertain. So that's part of your entertaining part there. But there we go, man. Big time move up for that dude there. And hopefully that is what happens to Cardano. And on that note, let's just take a quick little swing here over to said portfolio and have a quick look. So in no order, this is the coins I own, although the order is pretty damn close. But Bitcoin's not number one for me. Cardano is number one. So nice 25% move over the last week. But again, 155 is nothing special. We were looking at this thing for $2 for the longest time. It's dropped down there. So hopefully that can get picked up here. Solana is one that we've been buying hand over fist. Ethereum. I mean, my first Ethereum purchase was sub $200. We bought this a hell of a long time ago. And then my most interested one right now is Polygon, which is Matic, M-A-T-I-C, big in the NFT space. And we actually talked to Sam Bankman-Fried about that, for CEO of FTX, as he was on our show about 2 weeks ago. We talked to him about various projects. And guess what? Tomorrow, it's this guy's time. He's Mr. Wonderful. He told me to say, I'm actually going to talk to him about this, cash flow. We're looking for companies with cash flow. So obviously a lot of these DeFi names here don't have much cash flow now, but he's in WonderFi. We'll talk about WonderFi as well. They came here. Let's check out WonderFi. They came here when WonderFi launched, WNDR, in the Toronto exchange for us. It's on the Neo exchange, but we have to call it Toronto. And I believe it was, I was going to say, was it $1.30 or so when this came out? They were here on the day. Him and Josh Richards, I believe, were here when it came. Yeah, there it is. So about $1.30, $1.50. It dipped down to $1.30 and then started to go back up to $3. So WonderFi, I'm not pumping, I'm just saying this is a DeFi name that he was talking about that we know that he's involved in. So that's WonderFi right now, just kind of hovering around like a lot of these coins. So that's another name. But for me, man, my pick, one of the picks, and I don't know if we're going to do a show, but last week, and I know Sam, Mr. Goldman there on the chat, keeps asking for the play of 2022. I said it last week when this thing was at what 14.50 or so, that I really like SoFi, especially for the first quarter. I think there's a lot of room to the upside. We still have a lot of talk for SoFi about it being the bank charter. I don't know if that could be a sell the news event because everyone knows they're going to be getting it. But let's just see what does happen with SoFi here. There's SoFi Stadium in the NFL. We already know about that. Could that get a bump? I believe is the Super Bowl there this year? It could be. So we'll have to wait up to $19 here is where I sort of think. So if you can go from 15 to 19, which I think we get to easily, that's about 20%, 25% return right there, if not higher than that, on SoFi. So it's part of the basket of stocks I think you need to own for 2022. Put SoFi in that basket.
All right, what do we got here? At this point, what are we running at? 3:12 in the afternoon. I've cashed out the majority of what I needed to cash out. Now it's just trail stops on whatever's left. I was thinking of potentially taking a short on Affirm. It started to rotate back over. I think Affirm is hitting a nice little level here that I can work with. 108.50 actually was the area that I was looking at. I was thinking, you know what, maybe I want to fade this as the market falls off a little bit. But we've seen this late stage rally happen. Profit-taking sell comes into place, and then right at the end there, we get a nice little pushback to the upside. So I'm going to hold off on Affirm. I think for me, especially the way I trade, I'm going to back off a little bit. I'll take a look at Affirm tomorrow and see if we can't set something up, whether it's to the buy side or breaking above that 108.50 to the long side. But we are going to look at Affirm as one of those names. I'm just going to manage what I've got left. HUT, I've kind of given up on. I have zero faith that HUT's going to go in the money. It's down 25 cents. The $9 stock out 25 cents. Yeah, I don't think that one's coming back. But MasterCard, we've already cashed some around that 368. What did I get? I got 360.24 average price there. So we've cashed out half on MasterCard. We'll dump the rest if we were to break 359 and change. And on the other side of things, we have Qualcomm still, bouncing back up. I've already cashed out half around 185. So now if we can get back towards 186, I'll just get it closer and closer. Hopefully we get, this starts moving back to the upside as we get closer to the imbalances being out at 350. So I really do want to see what the imbalances are going to be on Qualcomm and MasterCard as we get closer and closer to the end there. But 3 positions, MasterCard, Qualcomm doing well, and then HUT, absolutely zero faith in that coming back as we go to Brendan.
Hey guys, let's get more likes. Just 45 minutes left until the end of this trading day, and we would really appreciate if you help us to get 1,000 likes. We have 2,600 people watching and not 500 likes even yet. So team, please find just a second, give us a like, and let's continue trading. Back to you guys.
Yeah, let's get those, let's do a call for likes there. Thank you, Ms. V. Good one on that one. We have, like you just mentioned, 3,000 watching, 500 likes. Maybe we're not doing, did we ever determine if that was real? I don't know if people thought that cycling thing was real. Or dude drifting off that guy.
I've seen that video before.
Yeah, I don't think it's real, do you?
I believe it.
Yeah, I kind of believe it.
Thing, right?
I just don't know. Yeah, I think so. That was monstrous. So I don't know if people talked about that. BFRI. Okay, let's take a quick look on BFRI right now. This was a name that we were trading a lot in the last couple weeks. So once the day chart loads up, I can have a little bit of a look on this. Yeah, okay, so that's what I was thinking. I was thinking this price was a little bit low. 14.15 down there. We've topped out a couple times at 13, 14, 15. Where did this run sort of start off at? Around 8-ish. So that's an $8 level there for BFRI. Yeah, just nasty. Oh yeah, this is the one that we talked about if it broke down, back down below. We got this question, I think it was last week here. Wow, the NASDAQ starting to go down again here. Another push to the downside on the NASDAQ, making another move. Right as I'm speaking here, you could see the trend, some lower highs here, boom, 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 as we start to come back in, up 1.38% right now. Still a great move upside there. But BFRI there did drop through 13. That's fine. Broke that level, then sort of hovered around, broke. Now we're hovering around and trying to break back to the upside. Still, I'm not super interested until we get back to something like this. Whoa, hello, boys and girls. Down to 1260 there on the bottom side. So if we could take that right there, 1260, I think that's worth it. Better to be patient right now than to do anything else. So we'll wait for BFRI. As right now, the NASDAQ puking a little bit to the downside. I don't see any headlines. Obviously, we have Brendan back in the building. He'll handle this if there is any news. Brenda, what's up?
Yeah, not seeing anything yet. Just wanted to mention this group as well, guys, popping back up. The retailers, super strong today. Look at Macy's having quite the day, back above 25.5, 25.75. Just pulled in with the overall market there a little bit, but huge volume. There was some preliminary holiday sales figures floating around this morning, all of which were way above any estimate. So some of the retailers getting a nice pop into the end of the day.
Nice little pop out. Well, it has been a nice little move as we're starting to notice that there is some profit taking happening across the board here. A lot of tech names coming off. You're starting to see the futures coming off here. Now we're sitting just south of 47.7 or 47. Yeah, 47.70. Damn. Okay, this kind of ties into what D Money was asking me. What do I think about the market tomorrow? It's a two-part answer. One, it doesn't matter what I think because the market's going to do what it wants to do. But what I can do is set up some levels that I can work with in the event that we were to come down, right? If we were to go up, then I'm going to have to figure it out tomorrow. If we were to come down, though, I think coming down into that 47.30 level tomorrow, and it needs to be tomorrow, because if we come down to it today, it's going to be a problem. Because remember, I talked about 47.50 being the top end of that multi-month. Actually, it's been back to November. It's a multi-month. Let me pull this down here. the multi-month high here, right? 47.50. Now, if we were to come back down tomorrow, there should be some old resistance that should be acting as support. There should be some volume that we can find that we can potentially use to catch a long tomorrow. But it's just one of those things where it needs to be done in a certain way and it needs to be done with weakness, essentially. Is that what I mean by that is if there's a ton of volume driving it down, then we're going to sidestep this, wait for this market to slow down before catching a bid. If it trickles down, that's easier to catch. I'm looking around that 47.30 area as a potential location, given that that's exactly where we spiked from right at 9.30. If we don't come down, it's essentially one of those situations where market's going to be doing discovery, finding new prices. 4,800 at this point is not too far away. That's only 30 points away. Given the speed at which this market has been moving, we can cover 30 points. I don't think that's going to be much of a problem if we decide to go back up. So be aware that the only scenario where I could potentially set something up is on the downside for a long as we come down to 47.30. If we were to go up, I think you've got to kind of just wait it out, figure out what the market has done in the pre-market. Keep in mind, futures, not stocks, futures can trade Globex hours. Globex is a platform that CME uses for these contracts, and they're almost 24 hours. I mean, I feel like there's like 22 hours and 45 minutes or something of active trade time on these futures contracts. So there's going to be a ton of opportunity and ton of development throughout the night as the Asian session trades and European sessions trade. Europe, yeah. Okay, I think UK is closed, but I think the rest of the Europe should be open. I might be wrong. I'm not sure what the European holidays are, but we should get some activity throughout the night that can set something up for tomorrow in terms of levels and movement. I'm just hoping that it's to the downside so we can actually set up some longs for tomorrow rather than upside, at which point here we are looking for new levels and trying to figure out things in what the market has done throughout the night, which could be a problem. So I prefer a move to the downside just to set stuff up. As I'm talking, though, I'm noticing that Qualcomm is coming off a little bit, so I'm going to have to start locking in some profit on Qualcomm. I've already taken out half. I'm just going to walk away from Qualcomm. I think it's time to walk away from Qualcomm completely, and we'll just hold on to MA and HUD. HUD is just leaking. I think we just...
There's something wrong with that stock.
Yeah, we just got to walk away from HUD, too. I think I'll just take the hit. I look at the timing. That's the worst trade I've made all day today. On HUD, and it's going to be a 27-cent loser, and that's the worst trade I've made today. But everything else has been solid, from Home Depot and Netflix, and we're still carrying Mastercard and Facebook is done. Mastercard would be my number 2 winner once I cash out completely.
Yeah, the only loser we've had here is this AAL, where we shorted in front of 18 and then got taken out at 18.20, which was basically the high of the day. We should have gave that a little bit more room, but either way, it's not like it would have mattered. We got taken out there. That's just short, and out into that high of the day at that point. And it was yesterday's close. It was Thursday's close where we put our stick out and got out there. Should have held it for a bit. Rob, you okay there, bro? But I just caught him flaunting there. So to Ms. V, she must like it. We'll see here about. Okay. I don't know if you guys talked about this there, but what's happening with Tesla right now? I guess the NASDAQ. This was another name today. We talked about if the NASDAQ were to fail, man, you don't want to be long on Tesla. And here comes the NASDAQ. Push, all the way to the bottom again here. So we'll see. This is a little flush here on the NQs. I think it's just profit taking. So maybe there's something here. Maybe there's not. But Tesla right now flushing right back into these levels. So if you didn't take anything out on the upside, you're kind of screwed right now because you're almost back to open. I mean, the open was down here at 1070, but these levels where we spiked up to on open right now on Tesla coming back into play, 1095 right here. Nice move down for Tesla. Anybody short that name? Again, I don't know if you want to cover, up to you, but it seems a little dangerous to me right now on Tesla. And we're just looking to cash out of all of our positions right now. AMC, yeah, we're not in Ford, Randy, but maybe we should have been today, as Ford still upside, up that 2%. A great trade for Ford today. Facebook 345. Wow, that's still up 3% and still rocking and rolling. Roblox up 4% at 106. So here we go. AMC, it's just resisted this too many times, 28.50. So I think we can probably get this out. I'm just going to be a little more conservative right now. If we break above this, 28.75, we're going to get out. We'll ring the register. We're short at 20. So 25 cents plus 20, 45-cent winner no matter what, hopefully here on this name. That's going to be AMC pushing now to the downside. We'll see if it takes this out. If not, we'll just play inside a game. We are short there. We've shorted the tops. And it's like, I know I'm going to get like berated every time I talk about this on AMC, but I'm going to stick with my guns, and I know Neil talks about this all the time. If we see a setup here, we're just going to short names or long names based on, I almost like cover up, to get rid of the name. It doesn't even matter to me what we're trading, although that's not true. It does matter because, you don't hold for this kind of a move up if you don't realize that there's a lot of buyers in AMC, right? And as I can see here, there's way more buyers. They have opportunity here to sell this down. We've topped it out right here, no problem. But look what happens when it wants to go up. It's like straight shot fired right up to the upside, 250 upside. And on the way down, it can't even go down. I'm in the money 50 cents here, and that looks like the best I can do. That's crazy. So right now, we'll continue to go long on AMC. We found the support at 28, more importantly, 27 down there. So we'll see if we can hold that out. If I could hold this overnight, I would not. I think AMC, we'll see if it comes back downside. But we'll pick up more shares tomorrow down here if it comes back to 27. We only have 20 minutes now, 25 minutes until the imbalances come out. And I just looked outside, man. It's still snowing. So hopefully it stops. And I don't mind if it snows. It's that freezing rain that will screw up the drive home.
Well, here's the issue: is I noticed a lot of people actually don't have snow tires. You live in Canada. And I think having some snow tires, even if you live in the city, it's still good to have some snow tires. So if there's a lot of snow on the ground, you get a little bit more of an issue driving, especially given that it's been snowing pretty much all day, I want to say. Since all day. Since I came in, it was starting to snow, and then it picked up, as Randy said, and then here we are still snowing. So hopefully things die down and we can actually walk away happy and get home safely. So futures coming off a little bit now, starting to turn back around. Now we're getting, this is S&P, come on now. Back towards 70 we go. We came off a little bit from the 76 down to 68, coming back in. I've cashed out of that position, of the Qualcomm position I was talking about. I've cashed out just in front of 40 here. I think it was like 30 something. We're out. We're going to walk away from that. We'll hold the MasterCard, and I'm still trying to get my hands on my HUT exit as well. We're going to take the hit there about probably 24, 25 cents or so on HUT. Nikola is one of those names Brendan asked us about. I'm going to mark this off. This is why it's up here. I'm going to mark this off, see if I can't find a trade on this around that 10.50, going into 10 even. So we'll leave that alone, and nothing else. What else? Actually, no, that's two alerts. Okay, so there are some alerts that I never bothered to take, and I think I can talk about those trades. I want to set them up for tomorrow. Gush is one of them. Gush.
Oil?
I don't even know what the name of the company is. What is Gush?
They're an oil ETF.
Is it an oil ETF? Okay, Gush. I have no clue. It just showed up on my radar, and I'm like, okay, 92.50 is where it showed up as the alert window for me. Why? It kind of got past a multi-day move here, a multi-day high-low situation, the low of the 10th, the high of the 16th, and we finally got above it. I want to keep an eye on Gush, see if we can actually trade around there. I want to see what kind of buying we get when we get down to that 92.50, 92 even. So there could be a nice little potential there. And then Affirm was the other one. Remember, I kind of passed on Affirm for a potential short. I'm glad I did, but it's still there, potentially on the short side, if we can actually get that move tomorrow. 108.50 is the level I'm looking at on Affirm if we can get the setup. We need the setup. There's still some strength there. I was okay taking it today, but given the time, I didn't. So here we are avoiding that mess. But this short could still be in play as long as we set up in front of 108.50. That's one potential. And then Walmart was the other one. Walmart on the buy side, north of 150, or not 150, 140 half. It's set up early. I just didn't bother taking it because I had so many other positions going on. So Walmart is definitely one of those names I'm going to kind of look at tomorrow because it did put in a nice move today, almost up at 1% on Walmart. Nice little two-stage move here, kind of hesitated around that 140 half area, around that 140.40, and then secondary break, and here we are trading at 80, going strong. So this is definitely one of those names. It's set up well on the daily, it's set up well on the multi-day move. So I think this is definitely one of those names I want to keep an eye on, especially for tomorrow. I think we'll prioritize this given that we've already got the alert for it versus other ones where we're still kind of waiting for.
Yeah, our Tesla's not too bad, but yeah, Gush there 2 times the bull. for gas exploration and whatnot there. So if you are bullish, and again, that just goes to show you right there, you weren't familiar with the symbol, but technically was setting up, right? And so that's what we talked about even with Daniel Shea there. And you know, you're just looking for opportunities. You know, obviously it's nice to know the fundamentals, but that's a good call there on Gush. And people are always talking to us about oil names. So I think for a day trade, you know, why not get a 2X ETF? I mean, it's going to move a little bit more than the normal. So I like that one. All right. All I did here was I just said to myself, you know, this market's now battling back. So we want to find a strong name here that if the market does battle back, and I don't know, I don't think we get back to day's high unless there's some imbalance coming out here on the NASDAQ. And I only say the NASDAQ because it's leading. The NASDAQ, well, now it's actually the S&P is kind of close, man. The S&P, well, you can't see that, well, 1.2. And I know Arun has that on his screen, maybe easier to see. But okay, so that's that. AMD, nice move to the upside. We're long 24. I just want to pick something that was strong where I had some outs as well. And 153, this is not going to be a trade that we're going to hold all day at all. If we break below this 153.90, I just kind of want to give this one almost like a 1-to-1 with upside. So I want to give this one an average down to here. If we lose, man, we'll lose that 30 cents when the high of the day is like 40, 50 cents away. So I'm thinking we can retrace back to the high of the day, which would give me the right ratio to make this trade. So we're going to do that. And we will also average in, if it does come back down around that 153, we'll average into that. So for right now, if we can put an offer around the high of the day here I think this is the high of the day, right? Yeah, 154.90. So anywhere around here, we'll see it. If it comes up to that, we'll make our judgment call at that time if we're going to get out or not. But all we need is the market to rally. I'd love to be able to hold this for 20 more minutes to see the imbalances, but that, you know, that may not come out. So in our direction. So if it goes up here, we'll take it out 154.80 here for AMD and see if that one works. And we'll continue to look on the high side. Tesla now bouncing around. Roblox, I mean, a name that we bought. I don't normally buy anything before earnings, and we were able to slip into Roblox the very first time I bought any shares in this name, besides my son being long at like an embarrassing, he's on like $67 or something. Got it early because I was talking to him about it, and then picked it up on a dip, and 9 years old. So that doesn't really matter. I just want him for education there again. But 101 upside. We just touched 109 on Roblox, trying to take out VWAP. This is another name that I like here. I like the metaverse. I like what they're doing there. I prefer Facebook. I like the Meta ETF that Prad's in, but for me, I just rather buy Roblox, Nvidia, AMD, and all of them. What's up, Brendo?
Meta here, guys, looking a little bit strong still. Arun talked about this a couple times early on, but KeyBank, I missed this morning, but KeyBank talking positively on Meta because of Oculus holiday sales, saying that the app was a top 5 entertainment app in 5 countries and the top 10 overall app in the US on December 24th. Obviously, KeyBank. But a nice day. Yeah, starting to head back to the upside here for FB. It's Meta, but FB still.
I know, Sean, you have an Oculus set. I've never actually put one on. I don't know what it's like. Is it actually worth the price tag that it's being sold at?
Probably worth more. So I think it's worth, I think here it's about 400 to 500. We got the higher gigabyte one. We've had ours now for a year exactly. We got it for the little ones last Christmas, and it is a game changer, man. It's amazing. It's an amazing experience. It is part of the reason why, of course, I own Facebook, and I'm going to be buying that stock hand over fist moving forward, man. I mean, I didn't even realize, I should have thought about that with Oculus. My kids absolutely love it. We bought Just Dance for the Switch, though. That was a game that we bought actually yesterday. We went to Best Buy just to travel around a bit. We went and got some Just Dance and something else we got, but I can't remember what it is. Anyways, they're downloading some games for Oculus. So many great games, even some great aerobic games as well, where you can work out there. Beat Saber. We have a bunch of Oculus games. Something called Rec Room as well. I don't know. These kids are nuts, but they have everything. So that's what it is. But I love Facebook. I love some of those upgrades. And again, you know, I'll talk about this name because basically on the same thought, and now that I'm thinking about it now, Peloton, I'm long at 40 on this one. So Brendan talked about this earlier. It was a small start. I talked about it. You know, oops, that's still the Facebook chart. It was a small nibble on the 40 break. It went into the money. I mean, I don't even remember when we got this. It went into the money. Yeah, so it must have been right here on this 40 break. Went into the money about 6 or 7%, like $43. We're long at 40 flat. And I still think, although Peloton right now is going to make new lows, I mean, I'll put more capital to work, like serious capital, when it does come through. But again, I like the play on what they did with Sex and the City there. And then that guy was like being charged now with, I don't know, I don't know exactly. So we'll wait on that one. But that sent Peloton back to the downside. But I still think Christmas sales, when those come through, I know they're doing a lot of advertising. I still think Peloton, and maybe this is something I should have asked Ms. Shea about, Daniel Shea, because this is a name that I think has some upside on possible upgrades, and I don't know if they're coming, but that's sort of what you hold out hope for. It's never good to hope a stock will move. It's better to get into one that you're pretty confident on. I'm not confident on Peloton, but I just think with the move it's had down here, that, I don't know, man, I think is some possible recovery potential here. Just, wow, this is getting kitchen sinked, man, over and over and over again. If you do like that, I think, again, a name that has potential, because they have subscription business, that's Wall Street likes subscription businesses. So let's see if that can come through. We've seen Spotify and a bunch of different things. There's AppTech there, APT, starting to go. I think Brendan brought us this earlier. Again, I think this is a Canadian name here. Alpha Protech, yes, it is. So here we go, starting to make a move. Alpha Protech starting to get spicy again, bouncing here late in the afternoon on, that's a daily chart, we don't need that. On big time volume in the 1 minute chart, just starting to pick up on Alpha Protech, taking it out. These are the mask wear makers. So as maybe new legislation, I don't think stateside anything will change, but here in Canada, I know people are leveling up on their mask game here as Omicron, apparently. I don't know what the numbers were today. I think they're taking a break till Wednesday here in Ontario. If anybody knows the numbers, you could put it there. But Mbot, again, man, I don't know. I was waiting out for this one. Some people talking about Mbot there on the chat. We could have got out numerous times at 80. I think we're just going to do that now, as we now only have 25 minutes. I can't hold this overnight. It's ripped up to 75 numerous times. We're going to park in order, see if we get that last one. But Mbot's been a good stock for us, man. Today, we go, whoa, whoa, whoa. We get catapulted off on Mbot. Just this one trade was 40 cents or so there, and we took about 60 cents earlier on Mbot near the high of the day. So let's take another order at 70.
All right, there's a question, I think, from I Am Changer about the IWM, the Russell ETF. Yeah, I actually would do one. We talk about the S&P and we talk about the NASDAQ. We kind of leave Russell sometimes. I don't even bother bringing it up. But IWM moving strong. And, there's a case to be made here for the multi-day move. And this is a conversation I had with another one of our traders here off the floor. This was like a few weeks ago. It was, if I were to zoom this out, look at what IWM did initially right here when it cracked 235, went above. The bottom end of this range going all of 2021 has been 205. And here we are, we just bounced it, we took out 235 for an expansionary move, said no, went all the way to the bottom of the range, and now we're bouncing once again. So IWM has been stuck in this wide range for a while, now bouncing, moving strong, just bounced off of the major range bottom, and now here we are just north of 223. There is some resistance here around that 226, 227-ish area, so we do have upside on the small cap here on the Russell side of things, but on the intraday side of things, you have space. $3 is enough to make some intraday trades that we can work with, but you just got to time it right. The issue is the timing of these trades is because the range is so tight, the window is so tight to catch these moves where you have to catch it on a situation like this, where in this case, we were sitting at what, 222.80, around 920, fell off for about 10, 15 minutes all the way to 221 and just sharply moved right back to the upside. And this is the issue with the Russell, is that it tends to kind of go counter to the rest of the market and then just shoots up and decides to do catch up. All right, remember, the rest of the market, as soon as we opened, we were taking off. What does the Russell do? Let me zoom in here. This would be 930. This would be right here, 930. We decided to come off against what the rest of the market did. And then we finally did a catch-up move late in the session. Obviously, small caps is a different game, but still. Just be aware that there is space on the daily to move up about $3-4 or so. You just got to time it right, and it's a difficult game to play. My specialty, what I focus on the most, is going to be on the S&P side of things. I sometimes go into NASDAQ, but rarely do I even trade the NASDAQ futures. The majority of my capital and risk is put towards the S&P futures, just because I get a better handle on things, right? This morning, I was talking about on the crude futures contract, which was CJ. No, I actually don't even know what I think it was CG. But anyways, I'll just pull up the other one, the e-signal one, which is the consolidated chart. We were looking at it around 73 and change. Now, I missed that entry, and by the time I got to 73.50, I put the order to get the fill. Yeah, we never got a chance, and here it goes to 75.80, straight run after we opened, or we were right about here, around 73.50. Well, I guess it wasn't a straight run, but we kind of traded for about half an hour, and then we took off to the upside, and it was gone. So just like the crude futures contract, you do have to be smart about the Russell as well. It tends to move on its own little thing, own little timeline. But if you catch the move, that's going to be a great mover. Keep an eye on oil. Oil's moving around. Definitely one of those trades that we can definitely watch maybe for the next few days.
Okay, so just a quick little update. We'll flush ourselves on the toilet on AMD. And again, a small trade. Tried to make it for you guys there based on the futures going back in. And it did, we did get 25, 30 cents on it. And then it just dipped below 154 and we got out. We talked about that as a trade right there. So in and out there, 154. So whatever, we kind of lost on that one, but nothing, didn't even touch our net there because Mbot, why did we even do this, man, on Mbot? Okay, that sucks, man, because there it is again. Why are we long on Mbot? I mean, we already said the reason why. Money. And there it is right there. Would have been infinitely more money. And by infinitely, no, it's actually quite, calculable. It's not infinitely more. We got out at 70 and it's at 15 now. So we definitely give back not give back, but give up 40, 50 cents there on the upside. I just lost patience with it. We've touched VWAP like 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So when it came back up, I was like, I'll take it, man, on the next move upside. And it does that, and it just runs me over all the way to the upside. But regardless, this is a trade that we took for you. That's 842. Out there, 40 cents, out there again, and now it continues to rip to the upside. Damn it, wish we still had that one, but we do not. So all we can do really is move on from Mbot right now as we do not have that trade, but a good move there to the upside, coinciding with that move in the morning. Probably when we could have held it into this range, and that's what I was trying to do. But again, I just thought we were running out of time. Appears wrong on that flex, that's for sure. So lots of time left for Mbot to make a move, and I think that's what you got to do near the end of the day is trade names that are moving, right? CEI not doing a damn thing. Mbot starting to move there. We could check out Nikola. Yeah, again, broke and we got out of the way. Nikola was only really exciting for me early. We just talked about AMD, Microsoft back to 341, like as if that thing touched 320, unbelievable. And then Tesla, you know what? The name that's not really back. I mean, obviously the market just faded out there, but you could see Tesla, that's a move back up. Tesla tried right there as well and then failed at 1096, basically that opening range that we talked about, and now you're starting to go. I mean, I don't know, this might be a turn here for Tesla. I'm a little nervous for holding that into tomorrow, but brand new 52-week high on the S&P 500 today. So congratulations anybody holding on to the SPY, and that is the S&P 500 contract. And if you wanted to trade, and again, maybe some of you don't have an I guess, I don't want to say option eligible, a futures eligible account, or you don't have the funding in there or whatever, you could trade, hopefully you can trade it. SPY on the Amex is the S&P 500, and it's 1 for 1 basically on the movement. S&P now up 1.19, and so is the SPY today. So if you wanted to get something like that, that's how it looks. And it's just been hot fire, man. The 20-minute chart, just tick, 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 boom. There, the last couple of days have been so huge. And today we continue with the Santa Claus rally fully intact one more time. All right. AMC, like we're waiting for that hero trade. And look what it does, man. It goes right down to VWAP there and now is bouncing a little bit. So AMC, we're still short, 75 cents in the money. Touches down there at 28.50. Should have took that out. Now it's starting to bounce. We have our out upside here. So if it comes back up to the upside, we'll get out. We did leave some on the table. Maybe it even cracks lower there. AMC. Remember, we can't hold overnight. I mean, that's the big thing there. So if we can't hold overnight, there's only one thing to do, and that is to get out as we see fit. So as the market starts to rally, and again, thank you for joining us. Arun and I are either trading, if you see Arun talking about the contracts, it's the full S&P contract, unless he talks about the NASDAQ, not the minis or anything like that. I mean, it's the E-minis, not the micros, I should say. And then for myself, It's no options. We don't have optionality here on our platform. We just trade straight shares, homie. So that's what we're doing on this one. And we're at the high of the day for us, and just waiting now for AMC, hopefully, to fall back down. But hey, we'll also watch for these imbalances coming through very soon.
Yeah, talking about imbalances, here I am setting up as we get closer. We're about 7 minutes from these imbalances coming out. I'm just setting up this imbalance locator for anyone who hasn't seen this before, because I noticed there are some questions coming out about just general trading. So I feel like there's some newer people that are watching, and that is the Windows arrow shake. Come on, shake.
I hate that. Did you just have that?
Yeah, there it goes. I just brought it back.
How do you disable that? Maybe if someone could put that in the chat.
Go through, yeah, I know.
I tried to disable.
There is a function. I know. I feel like I know where it is, but
I need to go on the registry or something.
Yeah, so we do have to kind of go and disable that. But anyways, for now, as the locator is, for anyone who hasn't seen this locator before, here we go. The symbol is going to be on the left-hand side. The direction of these imbalances is going to be right here, the B or the S. Size, pair value, and then forget about the New York, the source and the market time. But what you care for is the size, and the pair value. What this tells you is there's people that are sending orders with the on-close order tag trying to capture the official closing price. So a price that's executed at 4 o'clock from the market maker, and that's published everywhere. So if you were to go on any finance website, it'll give you the official closing price as this price, right? So that's what price people want to participate on. Whatever the closing price for today is going to be, it'll be determined by the orders coming in. And this kind of helps to kind of figure out which direction the pressure is going to come from right at the end of the day. So if there's a buy-side imbalance, there's going to be some buy-side pressure. As long as the imbalance is large enough, it'll move the stock in that direction as we get closer to the end of the day. This information is released at 3:50, so in about 5 minutes or so, we're going to get this information, and it updates a couple times. We're getting constant updates. Our feed is constantly updated, but the imbalance itself inserts more information at specific checkpoints. Obviously, at 3:50, you get all of that information kind of out for New York, NASDAQ, AMEX, and then at 3:55, the D quote orders get sent in there. So any floor orders that are, or brokers that are representing any large orders, they're going to go ahead and kind of put their orders in there as well. Then we get to see what the changes are from 3:50 to 3:55, and then you get constant updates as we go into the close. So it will move the market, and we've seen it before. It's just got to be large enough. It's got to be large enough relative to the name. Like Nokia, for example, since this is updated information, this is information from this morning. Nokia, for example, had a 621,000 share imbalance this morning going into 9:30. It's done 14 million shares on the day. If we had another 600,000 shares, say for the close, it's not going to do anything. There's more than enough to pick up all of these shares right at the end there. So just be aware that if it's large enough, we'll see. If it's large enough, I just did it again. If it's large enough, then you will see the market move or the individual stock move.
Do we ever get tired of talking? Yeah, for sure, we do. But we're doing it for you guys, so hopefully you enjoy that. And we got to explain our positions, because like I said, we're about education. I'm actually feeling like I'm losing my voice right now. We just try to educate everybody. It's a completely free stream, and we've been here now. We have over 20 million views, over 260 maybe thousand. Probably more than that, subscribers now. We just want to thank you. We've been doing this for about 2 years, and it's been a great ride. And I mean, we're growing and growing and growing. New guests every single day. And then tomorrow we have Mr. Cash Flow himself coming through. Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary will be on the show tomorrow. I think it's the afternoon, right, Brendo? Is he on?
10:30.
Oh, 10:30. Okay. So he's on the big show, so he'll be on in the morning. So join us. Me and Arun again tomorrow at 8:30. We'll be live. And then 2 hours after that, we'll bring you to him after the trading slows down, et cetera, et cetera. We'll bring on Kevin O'Leary. If we deserve a cable network show, someone please holler to someone at cable and see if they want to pick us up, because I should ask Kevin O'Leary about that, man. We should go on Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, right? We'll walk out there. We'll have Arun there. We'll have all there. We'll bring Justin, so to beat people up in case they don't sponsor us or fund us, and then we'll go crazy. Oh, I want to give a big thanks to Justin as well. You may have seen him come through. He hooked up the Tim Biebs today, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of sugar is what that was. And we had that debate about 105 calories, I think was the highest, if I am not correct. Yeah, so I also get tweets about the Stockfather. Mark Roberts is doing fantastically well, and it's just, no longer part of, the Trader TV Live. He's always part of the family, but not part of our daily show. So hopefully we'll be able to get him back on, but it's just for right now, he's not. So that's where he is. You can shout him out. Sunlight Strategies, Mark Roberts, a great friend of the show, just not with us right here right now. So hopefully he'll be coming back, but we don't know. We'll see what happens there on that. One other name I want to talk about, Brendan, and I don't know why this didn't get more traction, but the Chinese government abolished limits on foreign automaker investments. So effective next year. So I thought NIO would run on that. Like, I got that story is about 2 hours old. So maybe right about here, looks like NIO goes from $29.90. Like, I'm thinking that the Chinese government abolished limits on foreign automakers' investments in the passenger vehicle sector. So like BMW is expected to raise its ownership to 50-50 in China's Liaoning province. So to me, I thought this would have been a big move upside for some of these Chinese automakers, because now they're able to get some investments from foreign automakers, as per that story. So I don't know if you can find that, Brendan, or what, but I don't know if that's inbound, outbound, like you're talking about there, Brian J there. NIO is not a foreign automaker, I know, but it's allowing foreign automaker investments. So like the story was, BMW expected to raise its joint venture in Chinese names. So I'm thinking like that might be easier for a name like an XPEV to get a foreign investment, like from a Ford or Daimler Chrysler, or I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about the story other than that it seemed to be pretty muted. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, it was pretty muted. That's one of the reasons I think we kind of avoided it. But here it is. It was about 1:30 this afternoon. Like all things with China, and specifically the Chinese government, not a lot of details on this, but just as you said there, Sean, the Chinese government abolishing limits on foreign automakers in the passenger vehicle sector. It's the Nikkei that was reporting that from Japan. So and then BMW moving into that specific province over in China. So not a lot of details that I see on that, but you would think that would mean more money, less problems for some of those automakers.
And more money, more problems, more money, less problems. But I guess it could be taken the other way as well, where maybe now foreign automakers can just enter the market and build their own brands and things like that. So we'll find out more about that story. I took it as a positive for some of these Chinese automakers, but I do see the point of, and again, I'm just literally reading what was tweeted out there, and I'm with you. Like, I don't know, maybe now BMW can invest more into their own brands. So I don't know, we'll just find out what that means. But either way, pretty muted. Like, XPEV not moving today, NIO just kind of moving with the market as we already talked about it, and it didn't seem like it did anything. That was about 1 o'clock there, so it didn't do anything for like Ford or BMW's close, unless we look at some sort of a pink sheet name there. The imbalances came out, Arun, and honestly, I was looking at that story and it kind of just went right over my head. Was there anything that you saw there?
Well, at the top of the list, Voya is a sell-side imbalance, thanks to Pratt, who did some work here for some deals. So this is related to some index action related to some deals. So AMT acquiring Core, COR, 170 cash, and Voya is coming in to replace Core in the index, and they're supposed to add some shares, but this is coming out of sell side, so it's coming out in the opposite direction of what you would expect it to be. So Voya should be a buy side move as it's being entered into the index to replace Core, and right now the imbalance is on the sell side. So you know what you got to do. You got to check out that 355 update on what happens, because at some point this is going to change directions, I would imagine. There's no way this is going to be this large and stay on the sell side when there's supposed to be some index action. You can't even tell from the pair value side. There's not much pair. There's supposed to be a lot more shares than this. If anything, if this were to be a true sell side move, you would expect the paired value to be somewhere in the 5-6 million share range, but it's only at 1.9. So clearly something's about to happen on Voya. Keep an eye on that. You see the move right now. As soon as this information came out, it dropped about, 30 cents or so? This is on the 1 minute chart. I should move this up to a 5 minute chart. That's the 5-minute chart. I should move it to a 1-minute chart. Yeah, it fell about 30 cents or so. VTRS is the next big one at 1.37 million shares on the buy side. What do we have here? VTRS, I mean, it looks like this, done 6.5 on the day, and Walgreens Boots Alliance being the third one at 1.2 million. Not a whole lot of action. You're getting 4 names north of $1 million. Only one of them has index action on, and Voya being the one replacing Core in the indexes. So keep an eye on Voya, especially after 355.
Yeah, this is funny, and I don't want to talk about other shows, but like, you know, I said mo money, mo problems to Ross. Was that before or after he collected your cash there? And then you got muted. So yeah, I mean, whatever. That's you know, no hatred for any other streams, but we're a different stream than many, and I hope you guys can see that. That was the whole point of doing this. It started with me talking with a lot of Day Trade the World offices kind of one-on-one, and then it was like, okay, let's see if we can blow this up to all that are interested in day trading, and it seems like we found our audience, and so shout out to everybody there. I'm glad you found us. Please hit the like or the share. I mean, that's the only thing we ask for, you know, or become a member, and we'll talk about that. We're going to actually upgrade only 800. We need to get to 1,000, guys. Hopefully we can do that. Let's throw Ms. V on the screen when we get a second, maybe in the next 30 or so seconds. We can get Ms. V on and do a likes count here as well, because she's much better at sort of getting you guys to hit that like button. But yeah, straight cash, homie, what's up? And as well, get your money managed by Wu-Tang Financial when you get a second. You got to diversify your bonds, Miss V.
And indeed, guys, we appreciate any support from you. Please make sure you subscribe, you hit the bell so you get notifications when we're on air. Thank you for all the super chats, kind words, and just for simply watching us and trading with us. And indeed, guys, we need just 70 more likes now to get 1,000. Great job there, Sean. And I know we can get there. Just 6 minutes left until the end of the show, guys. Please get us to get to 1K likes as soon as possible. Back to you.
Just quickly, thank you, Ms. V. And yeah, there it is. So it's almost 1,000 likes. We can get, Rob, there's an animation with an old man going, ah! Maybe we can do that when we hit 1,000 likes, which is only 4 likes away. So I'm going to wait for AMC to get down here, break VWAP, see if we get a little flush down, and see if we can hit that. There's 1,000 right there, Rob, if you have that animation. We can hit that. And shout out to all our members, man. $5 a month is the most that we could ever charge you. And that's what we're going to do right now on YouTube. And it's just, there it is, just to support it. Thank you for that 1,000. And people wanted to know how delayed we are. I think we have a clock there, but right now my time on my desktop here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada is getting ready for this 3:55, 20, 21, 22, 23, so on and so forth. So that's where it is right now, 3:55, 28 right now. So if you are delayed, you'll now know by how many seconds. My only suggestion is keep hitting refresh on YouTube. Obviously, it's going to be dependent on your internet connection, where in the world you are, and for how long you've had the stream up. So if you do have a problem with that, maybe also if you're way behind, like now it's 47, 48, 49, 50. If you are way behind, maybe down click your quality of the video would be another suggestion that I would have.
All right, back to the imbalances. We got the 55 update. Voya is still there. I don't understand why there's a confusion. It's not Goya, the food company. It is Voya, as in Voya Financial, out of New York. So that is the company we're talking about at the top, VOYA. It is still sell side, but look at what's been paired. 6.6 million shares has been paired, 1.2 still left on the board, and still a sell. So everything else is gone. Nothing's large enough. Futures taken off to the upside. Now we're north of 80 on the futures. So after these imbalances came out, we kind of popped about 3-4 points or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter down from the whole market and just focus on Voya because, well, that's the big one, right? That's the one with the index action. I thought I just turned that off, but here we are with Arrow Shake still on. So here we are. I'm not going to move that. I'm just going to leave it as is, and I'll have the chart in the background. 812,000 shares to the sell side. As we get closer and closer, at some point, this has got to turn. There needs to be some more sell side, or there needs to be some more paired value, actually, for this not to be a sell move. But for now, I guess it's staying 1.1 million shares.
Thank you for the like, John, and thank you to Arun. Thank you to Brendan. It's great to have Brendan back. Neil did a fantastic job, but it's great to have Brendan back as well. And we'll look forward to have Neil back in the spot here, as I'm sure he's downing some amazing seafood right now as he is on the East Coast visiting his family. But today I was supposed to visit my family today, but unfortunately with some of the restrictions, my family's like 70 people just on one side, so we couldn't get together. We hope to do that hopefully in the new year as restrictions come off here in Canada. So some people talking about it. So right now it's 357.39. 40, 357.41 here on mine. Mbot does go all the way to the upside there, comes crashing back in. We did get a super chat. I didn't mean to ignore it. I think we got 2 of them. And they talked about companies raising guidance or lowering guidance into the quarter. Yeah, it's a dirty move. There's actually not that much. You know one of the more famous, and I don't know if they do it now, but Apple, and they call it sandbagging. So if there's I can't, Apple's, I would call up something else so we can look at it. Let's just look at AMD for a minute. And what they'll do is they'll sandbag a quarter. So if they know it's going to be weak for some kind of a reason, they will, go out and sort of guide lower base. I mean, look, as long as they can justify it, they're allowed to do whatever they want, as long as they're not saying anything like ill will against shareholders or something that's completely false. They can sandbag quarters. So like AMD could say, well, we're going to lower our guidance because we're unsure of the supply chain. They are unsure of the supply chain, and it's up to you to decide where that guidance leads, because they could come out on their next report and say, hey, we didn't have any supply chain issues, therefore it pops up to the upside. So just be careful with it. The best thing to do on guidance is find, I think it's Tony Saganucci for Apple is a great one as well. And anyways, I'll get some of those. But you want to find the idea is you want to find a good analyst that will back up some of these claims. Because remember, Apple went back and forth there. There was a report out that they had supply issues, and 3 or 4 days later, it was the complete opposite, that they didn't. So you got to figure out if they are sandbagging or not. Some companies will do that. Like they were doing it into COVID all the time. They couldn't project forward because they didn't have that clear guide of what was to come with COVID and whatnot. So I'm just going to get out with AMC. It's the only trade we have left.
Yeah, and there goes Voya, flip to a buy side, 220K. There you go. That's what you want to see. 8.7 million shares paired. Buy side move. This is what you're looking for. And what does the stock do? It goes from pretty much 66.30 to 66.75, popping about 45 cents and still getting bigger here. So this is the move we were looking for on Voya as it shoots up to the upside. And we are hitting the countdown as we get into the final 10 seconds. Oh no, I hit Pew.
Oh no, come on.
Oh no.
All right, here we go. Now you have to hit the bell. 3, 2, and 1. There it is. See, Arun, now you're getting a lot of requests, Arun, on the chat to either do ringing of the bell or trade of the day. So you've stood at that board before. I don't really know what the hesitancy is there. You could do a review of the futures, could be a trade of the day. I'm trying to ease Arun into making a decision here for us. Or you could ring the bell. I think maybe ringing the bell.
I'll ring the bell.
Okay, there you go. So there you go. So,
but I got to trade too, though. But if I'm flat at the end of the day, I'll ring the bell. Simple as that.
All right. Negotiation skills right there, guys. Let's go check out how we wound up there, Brendo.
Yeah, pretty impressive, guys. Right across the board, all-time highs. Top of the list, 1.39. It was actually 1.4, 1.41, I think, when it actually closed. The Dow 0.9, 1.6 there for the NASDAQ. Really nice way to start off the week, top to bottom here. 2.5 for oil as well. Worth mentioning. Don't look at Toronto because, hey, it was closed. And it's also going to be closed tomorrow as well.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Hydration Nation. We're almost done this one. Yeah, Toronto closed, so nothing to talk about there. So what a big day it was today. I want to thank everybody, and thank you for watching us. Again, we actually got out of our AMC. We got off to a great start today. We finished near the high of the day for myself, the market as well, making some nice moves back to the upside. Someone asking about Dolphin Saints. I think Taysom Hill is still under COVID protocol, and I just feel like Trevor Siemian's not going to get the job done. I love Jameis Winston. Obviously, he's done for the year. So for me, I will take the Miami Dolphins with the points, see if they can get it done, see if Tua can get it done there. They've been rolling right now, and the AFC playoff picture's still up for grabs. So let's see if the Dolphins can't do something here tonight against the New Orleans Saints that are going back to Trevor Siemian, I believe, unless Taysom was able to clear. So if that'll change the whole game there. I want to give a big thanks to Mr. Prad, who's over there. There he is. What up, Prod? And again, always a big thanks to Ms. V, who working all 3 shows. So thank you to Ms. V. Huge again. And then to everybody on our production side in the back end. We couldn't do it, obviously, without you. There's Randy, there's Rob, and Maggie's in the background there. But they're all kind of wearing black. It's kind of hard to see there. So a big thank you to everybody. And again, Brendan, welcome back. How was your first day back?
Fantastic. Good to be back. Good to be here for what should be a pretty exciting week, guys, heading into, hey, a brand new year on Monday.
Yeah, brand new year. The Santa Claus rally officially kicks off today. So
it's worth mentioning, sorry, Sean, no holiday for the NYSE for New Year's this year. So yes, we will be here on this coming Monday.
So we won't be doing any of this? Yeah,
we'll
no party. We'll be partying with you guys.
We'll do that.
Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll also do some of this too. Some champagne coming through for New Year's. We'll drink a little bit of that one and we'll have some fun. So enjoy the trade of the day. It's AMC. Guys, be safe, drive carefully, and we'll catch everybody tomorrow. It's Tuesday tomorrow. See you guys.